College Football Today is brought to you by B.F. Goodrich, makers of Lifesaver, the tough American radial. By Colt 45 Malt Liquor, a completely unique experience. And by Men & Skin Bracer, the morning after shave. Skin Bracer works like a cold slap in the face. Back in 1922, 50 years ago, this is how the Ohio Stadium looked. It was the biggest stadium west of the Yale Bowl with a capacity of 71,000, the pride of the Buckeye State. And on that day, 50 years ago, Michigan defeated Ohio State 19-0 in that dedication game. And now, here we are, 50 years later, and it's another complete sellout of Michigan-Ohio State game with the championship of the Big Ten and a trip to the Rose Bowl riding in the balance. Today, it'll be 87,000 fans on hand to watch this one. Michigan ranked third in the nation, winner of 10 straight, assured of at least a title for the Big Ten title if they won a year ago. Ohio State ranked 9th, 8-1 in the season, hoping to repeat their smashing 20-9 win of 1970, a win that took them on to the Big Ten title and the Rose Bowl. Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Fleming, along with Bud Wilkinson, welcoming you to this 69th game in this long rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State. It's a rather cold day. It's spitted a few drops of snow, and it's now just starting to rain just a little bit here. It's rather cold, about 33 degrees, but not unusual for this November afternoon between Michigan and Ohio State. There, of course, are two different camps here in the Ohio Stadium, Michigan and Ohio, and we thought we'd get a view from both sides and how they feel about this game, a game that could mean the Big Ten title outright for Michigan and a tie for it if they should win it, and Ohio State.
My name is Steve Schenthal. I'm captain of the U of M cheerleaders, and I feel that Michigan should go to the Rose Bowl because we are undefeated, and after today's game, we will be the best representative of the Big Ten.
My name is Chris Vogel, and I'm captain of the Ohio State University cheerleaders. You know, we have quite a rivalry going here, but we went to the Rose Bowl 2 years ago and didn't do quite as well. We'd like to go again and do it right, and I think we will. Now we'll be right back with more of College Football Today with Bud Wilkinson and Bill Fleming.
In the dull and commonplace occurrences of day-to-day living, one thing stands out as a completely unique experience: Colt 45 Malt Liquor.
How do you prove to the world you have a tough radial tire? If you're B.F. Goodrich, run on police cars in 33 states for thousands of punishing miles. Lifesaver, the tough American radial. And learn how to make the newest, toughest Lifesaver radial ever. Steel for strength, cushion for comfort. Lifesaver RS, the tough American radial. The only radial with cushioned steel. Only from B.F. Goodrich.
Behind me, the Michigan band playing the Across the Field March, the fight song of Ohio State. Bill Fleming along with Bud Wilkinson. And Bud, I know that you've been connected with football most of your life. This is a new experience for you. It's the first Michigan-Ohio State game.
Well, this has it all, Bill, as far as tradition is concerned, crowd enthusiasm, also excellence of football. The Michigan offense is what I would call a four backfield man offense, which is unusual today. Most teams have a quarterback who drops back and throws, and only two backs who can run with the ball, and the other two men are set out wide. But Michigan has all four backs around the ball all of the time, and their quarterback, Franklin, is an excellent runner. That gives them more blocking and much more deception. The Big Ten has always been known as a fullback conference, I believe, going back to Bronco Nagurski, Herb Josting, some of those great Minnesota players, Jim Otis here at Ohio State. And this year, we have Hinson of Ohio State going against Ed Shuttlesworth of Michigan. You can see them there. Hinson is on the left, and Shuttlesworth, I guess, is on the right. The other way around, number 31 is Shuttlesworth, and number 38 is Hinson. The Michigan offense goes from unbalanced line as well as from the balanced line. They are power eye right, they're power eye left, they're what I would call truly a multiple attack.
And the victors being played as the block M is spelled on the field here in the Ohio Stadium by the Michigan band. Now Now let's take a look at the Michigan offense. Bud has just mentioned the fact that Shuttlesworth is in there. He also will be replaced today by a fellow by the name of Thornblad, who's been alternating. Let's take a look at Shuttlesworth in action. Big fella, too.
Well, he's 6'4", he weighs 225 pounds, and this first one is just a simple fullback off tackle, but the Michigan line just blows them out of there. When they go to the unbalanced line, which they will on the next play, it oftentimes scoofs up the defensive spacing, and it certainly does here, as he just hits it, Shuttlesworth simply right straight ahead, and you can see that bruising power.
And number 44 is going to be Heater.
And this is the sprint draw play. Franklin rolling out, and they expect to pass, and he just palms the ball off to Heater inside. The complementary play is the quarterback faking that draw that you just saw and then keeping it, and this is how it'll look this afternoon. Franklin faking to Heater, rolling out. He can either run or throw, and this time he decides to run.
Dennis Franklin is just a sophomore. He comes from Massillon, Ohio. He was a fine quarterback in high school, very well drilled when he came to Michigan. He is not known as a great passer, but he's been very effective, Bud. He's had, what, 50%. And I think in the sequence that we're going to see here, in the first play, he passes to Paul Seal, and Seal is really wide open against Purdue. This was in the unbalanced line.
Well, Seals is the kind of a target that a quarterback likes to throw to. Number 83, he stands 6 feet 6 inches tall, and that's the range that you'd like to have. You can see the great follow-through, though, that Franklin has, and Seals had beaten everybody on that play. Hazelrig is another fine receiver, and almost all of Michigan's passing will come off of the rollout fakes or the play fakes. Their running is so effective that they have the linebackers drawn up in close, and then they hope to hit deep as they are doing here.
A young fellow who will not be here today is Gil Chapman, but we thought we would include him in the lineup because he has been such a spectacular performer. Just watch this punt return. 24, Chapman.
He's a great one. He's going to be backed up this afternoon, too, by number 15, Bo Rather, who will be a wide receiver. But when you call a Michigan man a split end, he's in there at tight end an awful lot of the time because Bo Schlembecker likes to keep him in there. This will be Franklin now, dropping back again on that sprint out half roll and drilling the ball to Rather, number 15.
And Bo Rather, called by many one of the most dangerous receivers in the Big Ten. You know, oftentimes when we talk about offense and defense, we leave out a couple of very key positions, the offensive tackles and the defensive backs, Bud.
Well, Seymour of Michigan, number 77, the brother of Jim Seymour, who many of you remember is a great offensive receiver from Notre Dame, is the mainstay of this Michigan line. 6'4", 250 pounds, very active, a former tight end. Defensively, number 41, Randy Logan is the man to look for. Michigan plays a rover or monster defense, whatever term you want to give it in normal parlance, but at Michigan they call him the Wolf, and believe me, that's a good term for him.
I know, and getting ready to come out on the field right now is the Ohio State Marching Band, and you can get an idea of the excitement that we have here today in Columbus, Ohio.
We'd like you to come along with us to see the brightest, sharpest color picture General Electric has ever put into big screen television. With GE's unique 100% solid-state modular system that runs cooler for better performance, longer life, easier servicing. General Electric Color TV for 1973.
Are you guys as tired as I am?
I'm exhausted. I've been out 3 nights this week alone.
We're to talk to our own.
I know it.
That's the price we pay for being Resilio ties. They're great looking.
Yeah, full-fashioned under the knot.
You know, the loop label to slip the tail through.
A Resilio medallion that holds the point center.
Resilios are the creative authority in neckwear.
You know that sports guy he's got? He's selling it?
No.
Getting a new one on Saturday.
Saturday? Yeah, I think I'm free on Saturday.
Oh?
The Ohio State Marching Band coming into the stadium here at about 200 beats a minute. And we might talk a little bit about the Ohio State offense, Bud. You know, some people have kind of deridingly called it high-button shoes offense.
Well, they may call it high-button shoes, but it's very effective. They, too, have 4 men around the ball, 4 backfield men all of the time. And they play a great deal from the T formation, which many people consider to be a little passé. Woody Hayes, you can see it here now, and it's a very familiar one to me because we used it most all the time that I coached. Woody calls that his robust T, and it has a consistency factor this season of 83%. By that I mean that 83% of the time they make 3 yards or more when they're in that straight-up tee. They also will use the I formation with the wingback set, and occasionally will have a wide receiver out.
Okay, well, let's take a quick look here at a fellow by the name of Archie Griffin. Griffin is the leading freshman ground gainer in the country today, plays for Ohio State. And you'll hear the Buckeye battle cry in the background as we look at these plays.
This young man, as you said, Bill, is a freshman. He'll play a key role today, just as Tinker Owens did on Thanksgiving Day for Oklahoma. He has a marvelous 5.7 average every time that he carries the ball. He's got that speed that every coach likes to have in the backfield, the potential of breaking it all the way.
Hometown product from Eastmore High School in Columbus.
Other fine ball carriers, Bardashek.
Henson.
Ball here. This is Henson, pardon me, at fullback. And he's the key man. He'll carry the ball more than the rest of the backs put together. Woody Hayes believes that the heart of the offense is the fullback. And from that T formation, he gets both halfbacks leading him in.
And Hare can really turn on the speed as he goes around in to score this touchdown.
Well, that's that extra dimension, the option to pass or run with the quarterbacks, and both teams use it.
Professor George Cavender of Michigan will lead the Ohio State band in our national anthem. People in the Ohio State Stadium. The Ohio State band and our national anthem, and now let's continue to talk about the Buckeyes. You know, they have disdained the pass quite a bit because Woody's afraid of interceptions, but they do have a passing attack.
Well, Harris hitting exactly 50% of his passes, and the passes will come off running fakes all of the time. Here he is hitting Galbos. The theory of the attack is to power that fullback in there, have the halfbacks occasionally carrying it, get the linebackers up, and then throw short over the linebackers, but in front of the deep receivers. This is Bardashek, number 87, rolling out of the backfield to make the reception. And once again, we're going to get a fake here, a play action fake to the fullback.
And a freshman is on the receiving end of this, Brian Bashnagel, who will be in action today. You know, in addition to the players we've shown you, there are two others we would like to mention to you. Randy Gradishar and Rick Middleton. They wear number 53 and 32, respectively. They will be the linebackers, a key role today.
Well, Ohio State and Michigan, too, roll their receiver, their defensive people. They have 4 men that go to the open side every time and 4 men that go to the boundary side every time. That boundary side meaning narrow field. The reason for that being that they'd like to have their speed to the wide field because that's where you can get burned.
Let's talk about the keys to victory in this game today, Bud.
Well, in any game with this kind of enthusiasm, Bill, and this kind of tradition, and 2 evenly matched teams, the breaks are going to play a big role in it. One of the other things that could happen, of course, is that one-play bomb touchdown, a breakaway. I doubt if that'll happen. And I really look for the key to this game being the team that will pass the ball the most effectively. They're both very strong running attacks. They'll both bear down defensively against the run, and whatever team can generate the most consistency with their passing should win.
All right, there you have it from Coach Bud Wilkinson. Bud, we'll look forward to hearing your comments throughout the afternoon. Back in a moment for the Script, Ohio.
How do you prove to the world you have a tough radial tire? If you're B.F. Goodrich, race your passenger tire at Daytona and Le Mans up to 200 miles per hour. Lifesaver, the tough American radial. And learn how to make the newest, toughest Lifesaver radial ever. Steel for strength, cushion for comfort. Lifesaver RS, the tough American radial. The only radial with cushion steel. Only from B.F. Goodrich. America wakes up with Skin Bracer.
Thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer is the morning aftershave. Its skin tightener and chin chillers wake you up like a cold slap in the face. And now, the world discovers Bracer.
どうもそれが必要だったのさ。
Once each year for a home game, the Ohio band spells out Ohio. This has been tradition for the last 30 years here, and the 150 members of this band look forward to this perhaps more than any other thing. This has been a trademark of the Ohio State University marching band through the years, and we will enjoy a little bit of the tradition here this afternoon. Also, one of the great honors that comes to a bandsman is being able to dot the I at the end of Script, Ohio. Today, that honor goes to Joe Kreitz, a senior from Wilmington, Ohio, who gets the honor of dotting the I. There he is. Cry. And that certainly is a cry for battle for the Buckeyes today, going against their arch rival, the Wolverines of Michigan. And the Michigan band, of course, is also here. 87,000 people waiting all year long for this game. As you know, a year ago in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines won by the score to 10-7. And it was 2 years ago right here in the Ohio Stadium that the Buckeyes won 20-9. So there are a lot of scores to settle here today. The possible national champion could come out of this ball game today. Certainly Michigan in a great spot for that. Number 3 in the nation if they have an overwhelming victory over the Buckeyes. But of course, riding in the balance is the Big Ten championship and a trip to the Rose Bowl. And now the traditional Carmen, Ohio. Michigan, Ohio State, 1972. So stay tuned for this great battle, the 69th in this long series that dates back way before the turn of the century.
The FBI chases 2 robbers on a raft tomorrow night on ABC.
College football. Today's game features the undefeated and third-ranked Wolverines of Michigan against the 9th-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State. NCAA College Football, another ABC sports exclusive, is brought to you by Texaco and the many thousands of Texaco retailers and distributors in all 50 states. Trust Texaco to have the right gasoline for you. By General Motors and the people who make Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, Opel, and GMC trucks, all with the GM mark of excellence. By Country Club Malt Liquor, a lot to drink without drinking a lot. And by John Hancock Mutual Life Insurance Company, the company that offers lifestyle insurance.
And ladies and gentlemen, here on the banks of the Olentangy in Columbus, Ohio, there are only two things that are dull and gray: the weather and the 50-year-old gray concrete stadium, because this is a friendly war between arch rivals Michigan. And here are the Wolverines, undefeated in 10 games, third ranked in the nation, and going against their biggest rival, the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are the underdogs in this battle today, but feel they can pull one out for 22-year veteran head coach Woody Hayes here on Ohio State University campus. Look at the spirit there. They're coached by Bo Schembechler, a former player, a former assistant coach to Woody Hayes, and of course there's a lot at stake there because the Big Ten title is up for grabs today, and more important is a trip to the Rose Bowl on January 1st. We mentioned pupil and teacher. We've had that similar situation with Bear Bryant and Charlie McClendon, Alabama LSU. Bud Wilkinson had the same with Darrell Royal a few times. What effect does that have in a game like this?
Well, I don't think if someone has played for you, it's quite as important as if he has coached with you. And as you mentioned, Chris, Bo coached 6 years with Woody Hayes. Now, the advantage that gives him is that he has been around when Woody had to make the tough decision, and he's seen him do it for 6 straight years, so he's got a better idea of what Woody's going to do when the chips are really down than Woody can ever have, because when Bo has had to make that tough decision, Woody hasn't been around.
Well, this is quite a day. Speaking of stars, we have Ara Parsegian, who has a day off at Notre Dame, and he's going to be our great star at halftime on Coach's Corner. I'll have a few comments to make about that a little bit later on. Then immediately following our live game, we will have the Kodak All-America show, followed by Wide World of Sports, the Muhammad Ali Foster fight, ski flying, and a further report on Russia, Olga Korbut, that little gymnast that captivated all of us at Munich. Mysteriously, Ohio State, the Buckeyes, have not come out of their locker room. And incidentally, today there are 126 Buckeye football players suited up. I've never seen so many football players in all my life, not even in South Bend when Notre Dame plays at home.
I guarantee you that Woody Hayes has given them that last-minute talk about how important this game is. And this one will truly be what I would call a game of assault. These two teams like to run at each other, and as coaches say, fasten your helmets tightly, because that's the kind of a game it's going to be. And here come the Buckeyes.
There they are. Look at all of them. 126. And you can rest assured that they'll not all play. But what a thrill to be a member of OSU, the football team. We're looking for Woody Hayes now. He's pretty easy to spot, but look at this spirit. $87,000 fans, including a lot of honeys, youngsters, grown-ups, and there he is. The 22-year veteran is head coach here at Ohio State with a phenomenal record, a great student of history, and he, in football, has made plenty of his own.
These two teams are about as well matched as you could be. Average rushing gain per play, Michigan 4.3, Ohio State 4.5. Average gain per pass, Michigan 6.3, Ohio State 7.3. So going into the big one, they look about even statistically.
And here in Columbus, Ohio, on a gray afternoon, 39-degree temperature, we'll return for more color and excitement in a minute.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the lineups for today's game. First of all, the Wolverines of Michigan. At split end from Sandusky, Ohio, number 15, Bo Rather. At tackle from Mayfield, Ohio, number 73, Jim Cood. A left guard from Chicago, Illinois, number 61, Mike Hoban. At center from Rockford, Michigan, number 56, Bill Hart. At right guard from Chicago, Illinois, number 60, co-captain Tom Coyle. A strong tackle from Berkeley, Michigan, number 77, Paul Seymour. At tight end from Detroit, Michigan, number 83, Paul Seal. At quarterback from Massillon, Ohio, number 9, Dennis Franklin. At fullback from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 31, Ed Shuttlesworth. Alternating at fullback from Plymouth, Michigan, number 30, Bob Thornblad. At tailback from Tiffin, Ohio, number 44, Chuck Heater. At wingback from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 43, Clint Hazelrig. And the head coach of Michigan, Bo Schembechler. Now for the Buckeyes of Ohio State. At left end from Warren, Ohio, number 88, Van de Cruz. Defensive right end, Sylvania, Ohio, number 83, Mike Scannell. A defensive tackle from Portsmouth, Ohio, number 79, Shad Williams. A linebacker from Delaware, Ohio, number 32, Rick Middleton. At linebacker from Dayton, Ohio, number 42, Arnold Jones. At linebacker from Champion, Ohio, number 53, Randy Gradishar. Defensive halfback from Coral Gables, Florida, number 20, Neil Colsey. At cornerback from North Irwin, Pennsylvania, number 28, Doug Plank. Safety back from Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, number 24, Rich Parsons. Defensive back from Erie, Pennsylvania, number 16, Jeff Davis. Defensive tackle, Garfield, Ohio, number 70, Captain George Hazenall. And the offensive halfback, number 33, co-captain Rick Galbos from Mentor, Ohio. The head coach, Woody Hayes.
Well, this is our first opportunity to report an Ohio State-Michigan game. And being a Purdue man from the Big Ten, I've always been told that this was really it. And even before the game starts, I'll have to agree. I've never seen such electricity in 87,000 hearts that pound here in this horseshoe-shaped stadium, which is 50 years old. And all 87 are out here for a good time. We had snow flurries earlier in the day. The weather is not going to improve. It's going to get worse. We have the University of Michigan band. You'll see them at halftime. And now here are the captains. For Michigan, Randy Logan, 41, a great All-American from Detroit. And number 60, we have Tom Coyle, an offensive guard. We have 4 captains for Ohio State. 74 is John Hicks. Number 70 is George Hassanall. 33 is Rich Galbos, and you'll be hearing us talk about him along with Merv Teague, number 75. And let's listen to the referee, Ross Dean.
Mr. Filson, the head linesman, Mr. Wukovitz, the umpire, Mr. Fallon, the line judge, Mr. Pools, the field judge, and Mr. Hakes, the back judge. Which one of you will call a toss in the air, please? Coyle will call it. Heads, he calls it, and heads it is. Michigan wins the toss. You will receive.
Rothstein has just told you that the Wolverines, who are undefeated in 10 games, ranked number 3 in the country, have won the toss. There's an east wind coming from right to left at about 8 miles an hour.
When you're the leading defensive team in the country against scoring, it always is kind of a surprise to me that they, having won the toss, did not take the wind or kick. That means that Bo has got a little confidence in what he has cooked up for his offense this afternoon.
Okay, Bud, the kickoff man for the Buckeyes on their home field will be number 3, Blair Conway. As we look at the receiving team, and there are beautiful uniforms, too, representing the Wolverines of Michigan, the maize and blue. As they now go back, we see number 44 starting to move back deep. That is Chuck Heater, quite a ball player from Tiffin, Ohio. 20 is Harry Banks. And there you see the backfield, Franklin, the quarterback. Shuttlesworth, a powerful fullback, number 31, and Clint Hasselrig, number 43, the wingback. He is also deep. But right now we're looking at the kicker. This is Conway from Middlebury Heights, Ohio, a junior, 153-pounder who moves to this ball with an 8-mile-an-hour wind behind. The kick is up, end over end. Chuck Heater has the ball at the 1, the 5, the 10 for Michigan. And brought down at about the 22. A 21-yard return, and there was no fumble, despite the fact that the home crowd made it sound like it. But that's the way they cheer their football teams on the home games Saturday afternoons in Columbus. Doug Plank making the tackle. So for the Wolverines now, Bud, they have a 1st and 10, and the ball is spotted at the 22. Quickly over the center is Bill Hart of Rockford, Michigan, number 56, and behind him, Franklin, number 9, in a power I formation. Ed Shuttlesworth, 227 pounds carried, number 31.
We were talking before the game about the compactness of the formations used by both Michigan and Ohio State. That time Michigan had 2 tight ends and the power I in the backfield. This is a game of straight-up assault. Let's see who can win along the line of scrimmage with an occasional pass thrown in, which will be the key, I believe, offensively.
All right, it's 2nd down and 8 at the 24 of Michigan. Bo Rather, number 15, is a split end to the near side of the field, and a flanker is opposite. Here comes that pass. It's to Bo Rather, number 15, complete, and it's a 1st down for the Wolverines. Neil Colsey of Coral Gables, Florida, number 20, covered for the Buckeye defense.
Let's take a look at Rather on the isolated camera. Going against Colsey. Simple out pattern, but it was the running fake that brought the cornerback up for Ohio State and opened up the zone for the reception.
That advance was up to the 37-yard line. We'll set the Ohio State defense for you momentarily as the Buckeyes now set into a power I formation with Rather split to the near side. From the 37, 1st down. Franklin. Here's another pass. No, receivers covered. And a very good comeback by the quarterback, Dennis Franklin. Grandishar, number 53, the linebacker, an All-American from Ohio State, made the tackle on number 9, Dennis Franklin of Massillon, Ohio. In fact, on the Michigan team, there are 29 Ohio-born players.
The Ohio State defense has 5 men in the line of scrimmage with 2 linebackers and then 4 men in the secondary. But number 42, the middle guard, plays off the line of scrimmage in an erect position much of the time as he is doing at present.
All right, 2nd down and 1. Daniels is set to the near side of the field at the 46. 1st down for the Wolverines. Ed Shuttlesworth, number 31, carrying on the play. Defensively for Ohio State, Van de Cree, along with Jim Coper, the defensive ends. Hasenall, number 70, number 71, Cusick are the tackles. The linebackers, Grandishar, 53, Jones, 42, Middleton, 32, and the safety men, 28, Plank, Parsons, 24. The cornerbacks, Colsey, 20, and 16, Davis. There they are, getting ready for another assault by the undefeated Michigan Wolverines at the 49. So it's 2nd down and 8. Correction, 1st and 10. And the quarterback keeper trying to get outside was diagnosed beautifully by Van de Cree of Warren, Ohio, number 88.
And the tactics defensively for Ohio State are quite apparent. When Michigan is in the tight formation, they're going to have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. The middle guard, Jones, will move up and be on the ball. Grandishar and Middleton will also move up, so that actually they have 7 men on the defensive line against the packed set with 2 tight ends of University of Michigan. When they spread it out, they loosen up.
Now a light drizzle starts here with 12 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. No score. 2nd and 8 at the Ohio State 49. Franklin. It's complete to Larry Gustafson of Mays Landing, New Jersey, number 48. So the weapon today for the Wolverines is the forward pass. Coming into this game, Franklin had thrown 6 touchdown passes, had scored 5 himself on the ground. So, Bud, as you predicted, the pass would be the weapon.
You can see Michigan's record. Franklin had thrown only 100 passes in Michigan's previous games, completing 46.
This drive started at the 22 for Michigan. They have now reached the Ohio State 40. This is another 1st down. A slot formation to the far side of the field. Hasselring is in the slot. Shuttlesworth takes some Buckeyes with him, but not far. 42, Arnold Jones, one of them.
We're getting continued slow count from Franklin. Instead of getting up and snapping the ball quickly, as most college quarterbacks do, he's been going on the second or third count. You can see the Ohio State linemen pressing just a little bit with him, but so far they have not jumped offside.
All right, now coming into the lineup, number 80, replacing Rather. That is Daniels. A slot formation again on a 2nd down and 7 at the Ohio State 37. No score. Chuck Heater, the sophomore from Tiffin, Ohio, number 44. Number 42 is Arnold Jones. Number 32 is Rick Middleton in those bright red jerseys that stand out so well with the gray trim and the gray pants.
And that last play is a very tough one to defend when you've got a quarterback like Franklin who will keep the ball outside after faking the Shuttlesworth going off tackle.
This is in this drive, which began at the 22, this is the first 3rd down situation. 3rd and a little more than 1 at the 31 of Ohio State. Whoops. The referee, Ross Dean, will give us the indication now. It's a procedure penalty against the Michigan Wolverines.
And the long starting count fooled the team who has control. Let's take a look at it again. The initiative is with the offensive team, and you can see number 60, Coyle, firing out a little bit ahead of time, missing the starting count.
So the down remains the same. It's 3rd down, but instead of a little more than 1, it's a little more than 6. No score in the game. We have 10 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's raining just a bit harder now, which will probably turn to snow. Franklin, the quarterback. 3 receivers out, and the Buckeyes bring him down. Mike Scannell, 83. Arnold Jones, 42. Delight the partisan crowd here in Columbus.
That offside penalty can change it. We usually think of errors in terms of interceptions and fumbles, but a penalty is a bad error and one that is controllable. They were in field goal range prior to the penalty and then the loss on 3rd and rather long yardage.
Barry Dotzauer of Cincinnati, number 25, will do the punting. It's a 4th and 14 at the 45, a loss of 8. Here's the kick. It's going to be fielded by Brian Bashnagel of Ohio State. The punt going 35 yards, very little return. So OSU will snap it from the 14-yard line, 1st down. We'll be back.
Why are these cars smiling? Because they're Vegas. And Vegas are very happy cars. They enjoy their work. They enjoy being driven. That's one thing that sets Vega apart from the average little car. Vega for 1973. More smiles per gallon than the average little car, for about the same kind of money as an average little car. Just because it's better doesn't mean it's more.
The Michigan Wolverines, who took the opening kick off the 22, they were thwarted at the 45 of Ohio State. Following a punt, now the Buckeyes get the ball for the first time. Greg Harris, the quarterback, number 18, at about his own 14-yard line. First snap. Oh, the Wolverine defense, which has been great. Gave you one reason why. Craig Much, number 34 of Detroit, Michigan, made the stop on number 45, freshman Archie Griffin.
The line and linebackers for the Michigan defense average 220 pounds, but they move with a quickness of 185-pounders. Exceptionally fast, and you can see their defensive record, and that attests to the speed and reaction that they have.
Now it's a slot formation to the near side of the field. 2nd down and 10. And keeping it on the ground, Archie Griffin with his 2nd carry and as many snaps as Dave Gallagher, one of the Wolverine tacklers, along with Tom Key of Wheaton, Illinois, number 37. The gain is up to the 16. So now it's going to be a 3rd down and 8 for the Buckeyes. There's no score with 8 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Coach Woody Hayes is shuttling in plays. Bartosik, 87, and 82 Hazel bring them in 82 Hazel is in the lineup with Galbos in the slot, number 33. It didn't work for the first down as Champ Henson, who scored 19 touchdowns, the leading scorer in the country, carried much on the tackle. Fourth down.
And Woody's thinking this is a war of attrition. We'll find out who can block who along the line of scrimmage, and hopefully we'll pepper him enough to wear him down as the game goes along. I was a little surprised he wasn't in the T formation, though, because that's what they usually do when they want to make a first down. They needed it from that field position.
Didn't look like the Buckeyes. In a slot with an eye in the backfield. Lego is back to punt. We have Brown and Zuccarelli back deep. It is David Brown. A loose ball. Kriegel made the tackle on the play. The ball was not loose after a 40-yard punt and a 5-yard return. No score. We'll return in a minute.
Sharp, cutting steel versus the Goodyear Custom Power Cushion Poly-Steel tire. To demonstrate the penetration resistance of steel cord belts under the tread. Watch. The polyester cord body soaks up shocks, and double steel cord belts resist penetration. Poly-Steel, the 40,000-mile tire engineered for American cars. Only from Goodyear.
I said to the man, give me the stuffed peppers. He says, you're making a big mistake. I says, but I love stuffed peppers. He says, you're making a big mistake. I said, listen, I know what I want, and I want the stuffed peppers. I made a big mistake. Took some Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer starts to work as you drink it to settle your upset stomach. For your upset stomach and headache, take Alka-Seltzer.
Don't make a big mistake. Take Alka-Seltzer.
That song hailed the victors for all the folks that cheer for the Maize and Blue from Ann Arbor, Michigan. We're in Columbus, Ohio, with 7 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the first quarter. No score following the Buckeye punt. They gained 10 yards on the exchange at the 1st and 10 at the Michigan 45. The Wolverines, Chuck Heater, number 44, carrying on the play for a couple. Shad Williams helping on the tackle, number 79, along with 42, sophomore Arnold Jones.
Ohio State expecting a pass that time from the tight formation. Gradishar and Middleton back off the line of scrimmage instead of being up in the line as they were in the first series.
Number 84, Denboer is out of the lineup. Paul Seal, quite a sensation, is in. Number 83, Rather, number 15 is in on a 2nd down and 8 now. Here's Franklin. That was Bo Rather of Sandusky, Ohio, a senior, covered by Jeff Davis, number 16 of Erie, Pennsylvania. These are the Wolverines in the white jerseys, the maize and blue trim, and of course, OSU playing at home for another capacity crowd in the red or crimson and gray.
Ohio State's narrow field defenders are Scannell, Williams, Parsons, and Davis. Michigan throwing against them, expecting them to be a step slow.
80 is a flanker to the near side. John Daniels, 3rd down and 8. The pass going opposite. Intended for Clint Hazelrig of Cincinnati, Ohio, number 43. He's the wingback. All right, what a play. Dennis Franklin, who's a sophomore from Massillon, Ohio, wears number 9, and he once said not all the good Ohio football players go to Michigan, but only the good ones, and that sort of upset the Buckeye football players.
That roll on the previous play by Franklin at the bottom of the screen caused the Ohio State defense to roll with him and set up the one-on-one situation to make the pass complete.
From the 40 of OSU, 1st and 10, Michigan. Heater. Fine defensive play by the All-American Randy Gradishar from Champion, Ohio. Let's watch him, number 53.
All-American linebacker, 6'3", 238 pounds. Here he is shooting the gap inside. And this is the kind of speed that makes the difference defensively. It's a straight-up sweep. Heater is the tailback. And Gradishar shoots the cap and has speed enough to run him down.
Immediately following our telecast from Columbus today will be the Kodak All-America Show, 4:30 Eastern Time. Slot formation on the far side, 2nd down and 9 at the Ohio State 39. Michigan with the ball. Ed Shuttlesworth carrying on the play.
A very good move by number 42, Arnold Jones, the middle guard. He offset his Franklin, I believe, checked signals and was sitting right in the hole.
Shuttlesworth, who has gained nearly 700 yards this season in 10 games, averaging nearly 5 yards a pop, was limited to 1 yard to the 38, so it'll be a 3rd down and 8. With no score, 5:43 to go, first quarter continuing to drizzle. Bo Rather, 15 to the far side. 43, Hasselrig to the near side of the field for Michigan. Well, now they set their backs wide. Franklin, beautiful call to Paul Seal. But again, 83, Scannell, Mike Scannell, along with Davis, 16, recovered quickly.
Seal made a great attempt to get turned upfield to pick up enough yardage for the first down, but he was running laterally against the grain, and with the pursuit, he had no chance to make that corner. So we've got a very important 4th down situation.
Well, in the lineup comes number 84, Denbear, Greg Denbear, replacing Bo Rather. He's 6'6", 233, and they go for it.
And you've got to believe you can make 1 yard anytime if you're going to be a championship team.
That's the spirit. And it appears that the quarterback, Dennis Franklin, did just that, but only by about 2 lengths of the football. First down.
You may not make it, Chris, but you got to believe you can. That's the important thing.
Dennis Franklin from Massillon, Ohio, getting the first down, and the ball is just across the 30. The Michigan Wolverines, they have Coode, number 73 at tackle, along with Paul Seymour, Jim Seymour's brother, number 77, 60 Coyle, 61 Hogan are the guards, Hart the center. First and 10, just across the 30, no score. Oh, he's big and powerful, number 31, Ed Shuttlesworth.
And there is some contact along that line of scrimmage. Franklin is 4 of 5 for 41 yards already, which indicates that Michigan knows they've got to throw the ball to move, and also that they're throwing it very effectively.
A Michigan team that has averaged about 4.5 yards per rush. Total offense per game, 338. They now have a 2nd and 6 at the Ohio State 26. Hazelrig.
That's what a wet field means. He had it in daylight, and he simply lost his footing on a dry track. He might have turned the corner and picked up big yardage.
So the stop was made at the 27. They tacked on a loss of a yard. It's a 3rd down and 7. And the Ohio State band, both the Wolverine and the Buckeye bands, will entertain at halftime, and Coach's Corner will feature Notre Dame's Ara Parseghian. Daniels to the near side of the field on a 3rd and 7. Hazelrig is opposite. There's Hazelrig. Hazelrig slipping on the moist artificial turf. 4th down and 7. The line of scrimmage is at 27 of Ohio State.
Let's watch him as he starts down the field. Hazelrig, drive pattern, and then as he tries to put on the brakes, his feet simply go out from under him, and watch this second effort as he tries to get up again and make the reception. He didn't quite have time to do it.
Now we have a 44-yard field goal attempt. Mike Lantry, a Vietnam veteran. Kick is up, it's very short. And the deep man, Neil Colsey, wanted to make sure that it crossed the goal line for a touchback before he grabbed it. He just let it go wisely. So Ohio State gets it for the 2nd time. No score. As we have 2 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back in 1 minute with more action.
Put your hand around a country club can. It's a great malt liquor you got. Country club is a lot to drink. Without drinking a lot, start something good. Put your hand around a country club can. It's a great malt liquor you got. Now it's understood. Country club is a lot to drink. Without drinking a lot, start something.
My name is Al Gazagian. I'm blind, but I don't sell pencils on street corners. I'm an executive with the John Hancock Mutual Life Insurance Company in Boston. I can't use my eyes, but I can use my head.
Because John Hancock wants to conserve human resources, we've hired about 500 talented people in our home office
who just happened to have a handicap. John Hancock, good company, concerned citizen.
Michigan has just tried a 44-yard field goal, very short, no good. Ohio State has the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20. We're near the end of the first quarter. There's no score. Greg Hare, the junior from Cumberland, Maryland, hands off to Harold Champ Henson of Asheville, Ohio, 38. Tackled by number 34, Craig Much of Detroit.
Ohio State taking good splits along their offensive line in an attempt to spread the 5 down linemen of the University of Michigan.
The Ohio State starters, 4 seniors, 7 juniors, 10 sophomores, 1 freshman. The freshman being a halfback, number 45, Archie Griffin of Columbus. What a team they'll have next year. It's a pretty good one there right now. No score, 2nd and 7. And the freshman is upended. Griffin upended by Randy Logan, number 41, another possible All-America.
He went right straight through the blocker and knocked the blocker down as well as the ball carrier.
3rd down and 8 now as we look at the Wolverine defense.
Let's
3rd
watch
and 8.
John
number
Hicks, number 74, block here. He's the right tackle for Ohio State. And that's the way to cut him down. That's Grambaugh that he took to the ground.
Almost a first down for OSU. It doesn't appear as the ball is on the near side of the field. The stakes are opposite. Maybe a measurement as Tom Key made the stop along with Don Coleman, number 39.
Michigan has got very mobile linebackers, too. This is Tom Key, number 37, dropping back as he does when the play goes away from him, and then reading it, and look at the speed as he comes across. It appeared that Hare had the first down, but with Brown coming up there, he just failed to fall forward, and so it is 4th down.
Gary Lago with his 2nd punt now to the Wolverines. Zuccarelli is deep. David Brown also. Ooh. David Brown catching into traffic. A marker is down. Did he have his arm up for a fair catch? And is there interference? Puggich, Fred Puggich was there to make the play. Interference with the right to fair catch the ball, Bud.
You have to give him 1 yard, and I think he also did signal for the fair catch, although it was certainly a very quick signal. Let's take a look at it. Here he is coming across, and there's his hand up in the air, but it certainly was up there for just a moment as he went down to field it. And Ohio State did give him room enough, I believe, but the penalty was that he did signal for the fair catch, and the men covering, the signal was so short they did not see it, but it's their responsibility to see it.
Now from the Michigan 48, first down, 59 seconds remaining in the first quarter, no score. Dennis Franklin called a beautiful play, and had he not lost his footing, he'd have gotten more yardage.
And that's the first time Michigan has gone into their unbalanced line. Ohio State did not adjust to it very well. We talked about it before the game, but their spacing is changed. An unbalanced line means you've got one more lineman to one side of the center than the other.
There's a defensive loss. Randy Gradishar from Champion, Ohio, the All-American, limps to the sideline. We'll get a report for you as soon as we can. A measurement now is being made, and a first down has just been achieved by the Michigan Wolverines, whose deepest penetration thus far has been to the Ohio State 26. They have failed on a 44-yard field goal.
This is Gradishar in the previous play, and you can see that blow that the leg kind of spin, and that's got to be a little knee problem, I believe. But since his foot was not on the ground, and if the bruise is not too tough, I would assume he'd be all right.
Jim Cudd was the man, number 73, that did the hitting. First and 10 from the 42. Look out. Chuck Heater gets another Wolverine first down, the undefeated Michigan team. Van de Cree on the tackle at about the 23-yard line. Now this is the deepest penetration by the Wolverines. Ohio State's deepest march has been to their own 29 and a half. No score, 12 seconds remaining. First quarter from the Power I. The ends are in tight. Number 30, Bob Thornblad of Plymouth, Michigan, carried the ball. And time has expired in the first quarter. A bruising battle here between Ohio State and Michigan. We'll get the second quarter snap after this message.
Automobile shock absorbers are nothing new. For over 50 years, they've been used to absorb road bumps. Well, General Motors took this principle and turned it around to help absorb front-end bumps. That's the secret behind the new General Motors bumper, which is on many new GM cars. An energy-absorbing device or shock absorber that gives on minor impact like this. This new bumper system is designed to work in extreme heat, in conditions of cold, and when it's caked with mud. You can still jack it up. This new GM bumper wasn't the easiest solution to better bumpers, but we feel it's one of the best. A good-looking bumper that can take it.
Once and for all, which big screen color TV really has the best picture? The answer, Zenith Super Chromacolor. Opinion Research Corporation lined up the 6 leading color TVs with all identification hidden and asked more than 2,000 people from all over America to vote for the best picture. Zenith was the winner by more than 2-to-1 over the next best brand. Zenith Super Chromacolor. See the difference for yourself at your Zenith dealer.
Now here's the first snap of the second quarter. Michigan has the ball. There's no score. 2nd and 7 at the OSU 20. Franklin, the quarterback. Peter, number 44, trying to get outside. Number 42, Arnold Jones, went lateral to come in on the play along with Rick Middleton, number 32, and Decree 88. Incidentally, Grandishar, who was injured, has been replaced by 55, Kevin Fletcher.
But he just came back into the game, Chris. I think that bruise that he received and his leg kind of flipped there, he's been able to shake off all right. We'll see how he moves on this play.
There he is, 53, while 55, Fletcher, who got in on a couple of plays. Right now, it's 3rd down and 5 at the 18 of Ohio State. Overthrown. Intended for Bo Rather. Neil Colsey, number 20. As we look at Rather, Rather is a senior from Sandusky, Ohio, 6'1", 180, playing for the Michigan Wolverines. So, it's a 4th down and 5. Franklin now has thrown 7 times. He's completed 4 for 41 yards. And now Mike Lantry is going to attempt his 2nd field goal. This one from 35 yards, from the 25 plus the 10 of the end zone.
And the wind is with him this time.
Up. Good. So, at 14 minutes and 13 seconds of the second quarter, Lantry has scored 3-0. We'll be back.
They come from everywhere, from the 4 corners of the earth and from the United States. Regardless of place of birth or national origin, they join millions of cars throughout all 50 states at Texaco. Whatever car you drive, Texaco has the right gasolines for you. All our gasolines have an advanced package of protective and detergent additives that help you get the most out of your car's engine in power and performance. After all, your car deserves its chance in the world. Remember, for products you can trust your car to the man who wears the star, the big, bright Texaco star.
Back deep, we have 45 Archie Griffin, 48 Brian Boschnagel, and number 27 Tim Holycross. And the man that kicked a 35-yard field goal to put Michigan ahead, 3-0, Mike Lantry will do the booting with the wind to his back. Ohio State will get the ball. It's a fine kick, but bobbled. Wow, Brian Boschnagel.
He was mighty lucky that thing didn't bounce off him out into the field of play. We look at the first quarter statistics, and Michigan has totally dominated the game. 101 yards to 13, and the most amazing statistic of all, they had the ball 11 minutes and 11 seconds during the first quarter.
Coming out on the field now on number 18, Greg Hare, the junior quarterback. Number 82, Dave Hazel, is one of the ends. Galbo's 33, a halfback, along with Griffin, 45, and Henson, 38, the fullback. From the 20. What a play by Greg Hare. Dave Brown forcing him out of bounds. Greg Hare had a trailer, and Galbo's 33, he didn't need him. He just turned upfield. And a little spirited action there along the bench, which is not unusual in this intense rivalry that is renewed once a year, this year in Columbus.
And Michigan respecting the running of the fullback. Keith was in at fullback that time. A good fake inside, freezing all of the linebackers as Hare took it to the outside with the option.
Elmer Lippert, 47, replaces Griffin. Nearly a 20-yard gallop by the quarterback. First down. 87. Bartosik is split to the far side. That was Lippert, the junior from Sandusky, 47, carrying on the play. Number 8, Ray Burks of Midland, Michigan, a sophomore, along with Dave Gallagher, 71, who tripped him up. Put the stop on at the 43, so it'll be a second down and 7. Michigan leads 3-0, having just kicked a 35-yard field goal.
Those Buckeye leaves are for exceptional plays made during the season. You can see quite a few of them.
And the Buckeyes keep it on the ground. This is Randy Keefe, number 4, the reserve fullback behind Henson. He's stopped by Steve Strinko, as both coaches are using a lot of players in this bruising battle. And they're fortunate that they have a lot of good players to use.
Let's watch number 74, John Hicks, the right tackle for Ohio State. There he is coming into the screen, blocking on Grambaugh, number 92, and he drove right through him and took him to the ground.
The deepest penetration by Ohio State. Now it's a 3rd and 5. Very close to the first down. Rick Galbos, who is playing today, having missed 3 because of an injury. He is a co-captain, number 33, Galbos, stopped by Coleman, 39, and Key, 37.
And it looks to me that Ohio State is going to have to run wide and throw, at least for a while, until they get the Michigan linebackers deepened up and respecting the attack, except right straight ahead.
All right, we have a measurement coming up. The linesman comes in from the far side of the field. William Filson and his crew. And you notice the ball is sideways. That's the way he carried it and put it down. There's Galbos. Ooh, inches. What do you do here? You're short of the midfield stripe. It's early in the second quarter. Your opponent leading 3-0. This will play a lot of people can second guess.
Yeah, but field position thus far, Chris, Ohio State's gotten the ball on their own 14 and then twice on their own 20. Michigan has got it on their own 45 and their own 48, and that field position has been very valuable to them.
But, Bud, you told me a good football team can go for it.
And that's what they're doing.
Okay. There we go. 4th down and inches. Well, both these teams want to win because a victory means Rose Bowl.
It also means pride and honor.
Yes.
Almost more important in this series.
Okay. 4th down and a few inches. Ooh, he got it. Henson, the leading scorer in the country. Strinko on the tackle. Too late. So, for the first time, the Buckeyes are in Wolverine territory. As you see the ball just across as we look at Champ Henson. 19 touchdowns, and he took a banging on that last carry. Here we go. Steve Myers is over the ball. The quarterback is Hare. Lippert. Look at that confrontation. Lippert against Roy Burks, number 8.
I didn't think Lippert was that strong. He simply ran through him for a couple of yards.
5'7", 183 pounds. There's a little snow now, mixed with drizzle here in Columbus, Ohio. The weatherman predicted that the weather would not improve, but would disintegrate.
Michigan had their 7 first downs before Ohio State had any first downs.
All right, now we have a second down and 7. Michigan leads 3-0. 11 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the first half. A slot formation, Ohio State. And the carry by number 45, freshman Archie Griffin, didn't fool anyone. As you look at Coach Woody Hayes, and look at that record here at Ohio State University.
And Woody Hayes calling the plays from the sidelines. They have yet to throw a pass. This is an obvious passing situation. When they've had long yardage before, they've gone with some sort of a fullback fake and then the option wide.
Number 87, Bartosik, is split to the left. In the slot is Galbos. Beautiful call. It's a first down for Ohio State. Now a procedure signal by one of the officials. See the rotation of the hands and arms. All right, that'll bring the ball back. 5. Now you're looking at referee Ross Dean from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. He has been a great referee in the Big Ten, and this is his final game. He's decided to call it quits, and we just like to congratulate him on the many years of great service and a thankless job so often officiating collegiate football. Incidentally, Henson banged an ankle, but he will be back in the game. They recover quickly, so the ball now is back at the 49. It's a third down and 12. Hare throwing. Ooh! Ted. Incomplete.
Michigan saying that he was across the line of scrimmage before he threw the ball. You can see them on the sidelines talking about it, but
Dotzauer was covering number 25 for the Wolverine defense. Ted Powell, 89, from Hampton, Virginia, the intended receiver. So here again we have a fourth down. Incompletion. Lego is in to try the third Ohio State punt. In a defensive battle, the only breaking of the ice has been a 35-yard field goal by Mike Landry. Michigan leads 3-0. 10:43 left in the first half. Going deep, David Brown, number 6, single safety. Michigan will get the ball on a beautiful punt. Ooh, what a honey. Look at that. A 45-yard punt, but more important, it is dead at the 5.5. We'll return in a minute.
In 1818, Lord Byron wrote a pretty good Camaro commercial. There is a pleasure in the pathless woods. There is a rapture on the lonely shore. There is society where none intrudes by the deep sea, and music in its roar. I love not man the less, but nature the more. Getting away. That's what the new 73 Camaro Type LT is all about. LT for luxury touring, for luxurious interior trim and appointments, and special instrumentation. LT for the privacy and luxury of quiet, for standard power steering, and a 350 V8 engine. LT for 73, a new Camaro that's a better way to get away.
We're back again at Ohio Stadium as 87,000 fans look on. It continues to drizzle on the 69th meeting between Michigan with the ball now. At the 5.5 following a punt, they lead 3-0. Franklin, the quarterback. Bob Thornblad of Plymouth, Michigan, carried on the play. He's replaced Shuttlesworth on a few plays. Hazenall, number 70, a fine tackle along with Shad Williams, making the stop.
Obviously a very key series for both Ohio State and Michigan. The Buckeyes can stop them, keep them from making the first down here. They will have great field position.
Larry Gustafson, number 48, is in the lineup for the Wolverines. He is in the slot. Rather is outside him on a 2nd and 7. Sophomore Dennis Franklin showing us a lot of good moves, a lot of courage. Turning upfield as Van de Cree and Rick Middleton made the stop.
He really did show us something on that play, Chris. There was no way he was going to make any yardage at all, and just with his own brilliance, he planted that foot, turned upfield, and made a sizable gain.
It gives them third down and a little more than a yard. They're inside their own 15 following a nifty punt by Lego. Wolverines in the white jerseys. Third and a little more than one. Whoops. That was Mike Hogan that may have moved a little early.
I'm going to be interested in how they call this one.
Again, that's procedure call.
He called it right, definitely.
That's just so often when the pressure is on these officials.
Now here it is again. If you look to the lower right, just on the right side of your screen, the Michigan helmet, you'll see Hoban move here just a little bit ahead. There he comes. Now, the defense can move as long as they don't go across the line of scrimmage. They can be moving all the time, but the offense has got to be still for 1 second. Any movement on them is a penalty, illegal procedure. Once the lineman's hands on the ground, he cannot move again.
Now it's a third down and 6 from their own 9. Michigan with the ball, leading 3-0. Rather. This was Heater that carried, and the Buckeye defense has come along, led by Randy Grandisher, number 53. As 44, Chuck Heater carried on the play, and there's Bo Schembeckler, a student player at Miami of Ohio when Woody Hayes was coach.
This is Gradishar, great boundary linebacker for Ohio State. He bruised a knee a few moments earlier, but he can move again.
Barry Detzauer punting. It's low, not allowing too much kick coverage. Ohio State will have good field position at the 45 or 6 of Michigan. Brian Baschnagel, 37-yard punt, returns at 4 yards. You know, Michigan and Ohio State have long been known for their great battles on the field, but these two institutions also have quite a fight going up in the stands. For the past 22 years, Ohio State and Michigan have finished 1-2 in attendance figures. 21 of those years, the Columbus Rooters have brought the crown to Ohio State, with Ann Arbor patrons finishing second. Michigan is the attendance winner this year nationally. All right, now from the 46. There's freshman Archie Griffin, who broke an Ohio State one-game record with 239 yards rushing against North Carolina this year. Look at him.
Let's watch Jim Kriegel, the guard. This is number 37, Key of Michigan, the linebacker. And Kriegel comes out here, picks him off, so there was no pursuit as Griffin turned the corner and turned upfield.
Ohio State has gained the first down. The ball is just shy of the 35. Ohio State's deepest penetration. First down. They now have 3. Michigan has 7. Ah, nice hole made by the men up front as Randy Keith carried. Craig Much on the tackle. And up front we have Teague, Kriegel, Myers, Bonica, Hicks.
And it's amazing how one good gain wide will loosen the linebackers and give the fullback a little bit of room to run.
Ball now near the Michigan 32. It's a second down and 7 as Michigan leads 3-0.
It's not so much that the linebackers deepen physically, but they're mentally thinking wide rather than mentally thinking it's coming inside.
An eye on the backfield, a slot formation to the near side. It's Hazel and Galbos on a 2nd and 7. And number 4, Randy Keith carrying. And the Buckeyes need about another yard for a first down with the clock running, 6:51 to go. In the first half, Michigan leading 3-0 as a result of a 35-yard field goal. And the ground troops of Ohio State have moved closer to the Wolverine goal line, and they need that much yardage on third down for a first down. What a week of football here on ABC.
Here they come in their robust tee.
There it is, the full house tee. That's the way the tee originated, just as you're looking at it now. And Keith gets the necessary yardage. There may be a marker down. All right, let's watch. Maybe offside against, let's see, offside. Rothstein in his final game refereeing points to the Wolverine.
From the T formation, the robust T is Woody Hayes calls it. They have an 83% consistency factor. By consistency factor, they make 3 yards or more on each snap. And when you're down here in that 4-down area of the field, if you can average that 3 yards, obviously you're going to drive it in.
All right. Bartosik comes to the near side of the field. In the slot is Galbos in a 1st and 10 from the Michigan 22. Wow, Griffin, 1st and goal.
And Woody crossed him up. He went with the open set and gave it to the fullback.
So the underdog Buckeyes have driven from their own 46 to the 4 with a 1st and goal, trailing 3-0. They can go ahead if they can punch it in. Griffin now has carried the ball 6 times. Here's the full house tee again.
And you can see the full house Michigan defense with everybody right along the line of scrimmage.
And that was Champ Henson, who has 19 touchdowns this year that carried. And Randy Logan, the All-American, met him head-on, number 41. But the Champ gained a yard to the 3. It's 2nd down and goal.
In this position on the field, the linemen don't try to block anybody in or out. They simply try to drive them back. And the defense, on the same token, is really putting their heads down and submarining to avoid being driven back.
Now it gets interesting up front. And the quarterback, Greg Hare, says, quiet please, 2nd and goal from the 3. Ooh, he's close. Henson carrying. Brown making the stop. And in the end zone, now one official raises the 2 hands, or does he?
I think he's trying to signal for quiet, just as Hare, the quarterback, has been doing, but that was awfully close and somewhat
excited
technical.
a lot of Buckeye fans, I'll tell you that.
You excited me.
Okay. 3rd and goal. Length of a football, and Ohio State from the straight tee. Watch. Touchdown, Henson. Yards, 7 plays. Henson, his 20th touchdown of the year. Here's a try for the extra point. Conway, good. 4.5 minutes remaining in the 1st half. Ohio State leads 7-3.
When you get the new Homelight XL2 chainsaw, do let the neighbors try it. This Homelight's the only chainsaw with twin triggers. The rear trigger makes faster work of firewood. Then shift to the front trigger for more control on tricky angles.
It's like, oh, it's really nice.
The new Homelight XL2. Twin triggers make cutting twice as easy. Try it yourself sometime.
The Hawks trail 14-13 with just 5 seconds left in the ball game. Riley drops back to pass. He's throwing deep, way down for McKee. He's got it. Touchdown, the Hawks win it.
After 4 tough quarters, you're ready for more than one cold beer. And that means you're ready for Schaefer.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Let's watch the touchdown again. You can see the split from the Ohio State line. And here comes Henson, the fullback, being led by Galbos. And you can see the Michigan line closing, but he just made it across the goal line. Let's look at it again from this angle, and you can see the takeoff of the Ohio State line. They did beat them to the punch, and even though Michigan was closing, Henson had enough power to put it in the end zone.
All right, now it'll be the kickoff by Blair Conway, following the 46-yard drive in 7 plays. Heater, number 42 is, whoops, easy boy. Easy boy.
The back judge moved in because he wasn't certain that the Ohio State people knew he hadn't come out across that goal line.
It's an emotional game because both teams look forward to it. Now look at that. Those hydraulic brakes are some kind of brakes. They really worked. So the ball comes out to the 20. And it's Ohio State leading 7-3. We have 4:27 remaining in the first half. Now the quarterback, still Franklin, for the Wolverines, undefeated in 10 games. Hazelrig. Look at that effort. Wow. He's a junior from Cincinnati, Ohio, as Arnold Jones makes the tackle for Ohio State. Columbia leads Brown 14-0.
Clemson, South Carolina tied 0-0, and Colgate leading Rutgers 7-0. North Carolina 14-7 over East Carolina, and Purdue and Indiana scoreless in the first quarter.
Hazelrig gained 9 yards to the 29, 2nd and 1. Penn
the
State
team-
on their way to the Sugar Bowl, leading Pittsburgh 14-0.
We'll see him against Oklahoma, New Year's Eve.
What team, bud? Okay. Wide open. Paul Seal. Oh, he had to wait for the ball. Colsey covering on the plan for the Wolverines. They go to the air. They have a first down at the 36 of Ohio State, a 35-yard play.
And the Ohio State defense really went for the running fake that time. Seal's the only man out, wide open. Beat everybody. Duffy Doherty's final game, Michigan State against Northwestern, with a healthy 21-7 lead. LSU, Florida tied in the first quarter, 0-0.
First and 10 for Michigan from the Ohio State 36. And you talk about a power sweep. Hazelrig, number 43, carried on the play.
And at halftime, we'll have Coach's Corner with Ara Parsegian of the University of Notre Dame as our guest coach.
Ara said before the game started, when we asked him how he liked the day off, and he said he liked it so much that he may retire. But if I were you Notre Dame rooters, I wouldn't get too nervous about it. Bo Schembechler, the great Michigan coach. Big Ten champions in 71, coach of the year in 69. Okay, Gustafson is in the lineup as we have a 2nd down and 3. Thornblad, 30, reserve fullback behind Shuttlesworth, carried on the play. And good enough for the Michigan first down at the 25.
The clock may be a factor here. 2 minutes and 48 seconds at the moment, but Michigan also has 3 first downs. 3 timeouts remaining.
Michigan that has averaged 25 points a game. Ohio State, 27. They have so many statistics that are equal coming into this game. On the 25. Hazelrig, number 43. Shad Williams coming in on the tackle. That's big number 79 at 238. And Jones, 42, 224. And Scannell, 212, 83.
Most backs, when they pivot, as Hazelrig did at that point, don't have very good balance or strength. And while he was pivoting, he had strength enough to just bounce off those big men Chris just mentioned.
What a game. Big Ten championship trip to the Rose Bowl. Number 3 ranked Michigan, number 9 ranked Ohio State. 2nd and 8, Michigan. Grandishire gets in there. We've got to give credit to a defensive back that covered the key receiver. Can't see his numbers. He comes back up the huddle.
That was Thornblad, who was out there wide, I believe. But also we have Gradishar, the linebacker, rushing here. A blitz play that is always a gamble. But when you expect a pass, if you don't give them time to throw and you get just a little bit of help down there, as they had in the secondary, it's a very effective thing. Gradishar on the tackle after being high in the air to block it if he threw quickly.
It was Jeff Davis who was deep covering. 3rd and 10. Right to the 12, Hazelrig. And Jeff Davis lost his footing.
Let's watch Hazelrig when it's one-on-one and you run the curl pattern or the hook as well as this. The halfback has a terrible time. You could see Davis trying to recover, but he did slip, and the pass was so well on target, complete, and it's now first down at the 11.
All right, Hazelrig, 37 yards rushing, 14 yards on catching passes, as Dennis Franklin, the sophomore, looks good. First down from the OSU 11. Squirting through, 44, Chuck Heater. If you just joined us, the first scoring came at 14-13 of the second quarter, a 35-yard field goal. Then State went 46 yards in 7 plays to take the lead 7-3, and that's the way it stands with 33 seconds remaining in the first half.
And this is a break for Michigan getting the measurement because this does kill the clock while they're back in the huddle calling the play. The clock will start, however, just as soon as the referees set the chain markers.
First and goal at the 1. And time has been called by the Wolverines, who trail 3-7 with 33 seconds here in the first half. Halftime, both bands. Coach's Corner with Ara Parsegian. And also today at 4:30, the Kodak All-America show, followed by Wide World of Sports. This crowd is chatting and chanting all the time here in Columbus, Ohio. They've been doing it for 50 years in this stadium. NCAA college football continues next Saturday with an exciting doubleheader. At 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, it's the Army-Navy game. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, contenders in this year's Orange Bowl, take on one of this year's Rose Bowl teams, the USC Trojans. Don't miss this exciting college football doubleheader next Saturday right here on ABC. There you get a look at the Horseshoe Stadium. So now on the clock, 33 seconds, first and goal at the 1. 7-3 Ohio State. Michigan with a chance to go ahead. It didn't work. The pitch to Chuck Heater, 44, from Franklin, the fullback. They lost yardage.
But he got it out of bounds to kill the clock.
Right. And 28 seconds left on the Ohio Stadium clock. Rick Middleton, one of the linebackers, and Arnold Jones, another, forced him out at about the 1.5. So it's second and goal. This drive started at the 20.
2 timeouts remaining for Michigan with 28 seconds left on the clock.
This is the 10th play of the drive. They're trying to cap an 80-yard march. Heater, and Heater loses the footing.
If he hadn't slipped, Chris, he's going to score on the play. They had the blocking in front of him. They've got the speed, and they were just a step ahead getting out there, and it's just that little bit of dampness, I believe, on top of the artificial turf.
19 seconds, and a third down and goal coming up. We'll return.
The Summer Olympic Games were televised in an unprecedented manner by ABC Sports, and the gold medal coverage continues on a regular basis. ABC's Wide World of Sports, the distinguished award-winning series, spans the globe in search of excitement and human emotion. ABC is the only network with collegiate and professional football, the pageantry, spectacle, and the classic rivalries of college football. And NFL Monday Night Football with the great teams plus our own trio of Frank, Dandy, and Howard. NBA basketball, speed and grace Sunday afternoons and at prime time during the playoffs. The American Sportsman depicting the thrill and the challenge of the outdoors. The popular Professional Bowlers Tour live with all the great bowlers in its 12th year. ABC Sports covers the outstanding motor races, including the classic Indianapolis 500. Golf, the United States Open, PGA Championship, British Open, and 10 other great tournaments. The all-star lineup, it's all here on ABC Sports.
All right, 19 seconds in the first half. Michigan, third and goal at the 1. They trail 7-3. They didn't make it. The clock is running. Will they call timeout? Yes. 11 seconds, first half. Thornblad failed to get in. Fourth down, and talk about drama in the closing 11 seconds of any half. Here it is.
And do you kick the field goal for almost certain 3 points, or do you try to go ahead? That's what the Michigan staff is discussing at the moment with their sophomore quarterback, Dennis. I believe that they're going to go for the...
Paul Seal, the big end, 6'6", 213, was waving to his head coach, Bo Schimbacher, go for it. Well, the quarterback is over talking to the coaching staff. What a conference. Here he comes. Number 9. So that's the quarterback there. I don't see the field goal kicker, who's been successful on 1 of 2 today.
This play could be the ball game.
Oh, boy. Denver is the tight end on the far side from the power I. 4th and goal. They did not make it. Franklin on a quarterback sneak was thrown for a loss by Ohio State, and listen.
And from a coaching standpoint, you just can't believe you're going to fumble the exchange in that crucial a situation, because that's something you should never have happen to you.
Listen to these Ohio State rooters.
I'll guarantee you one thing, there'll be no razzle-dazzle on the next play.
Wow. An 80-yard drive halted. 12 on the 12th play of the drive. The Ohio State defense was really tough.
Remarkable, Chris, to stop a team like Michigan 4 straight times from the 2-yard line. I guess it was 1.5 even.
Right. It was inside, actually. And so they're just running out the clock. We see 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And at halftime, Ohio State, the underdog, leads undefeated Michigan by a score of 7-3.
Let's look at the last play again. You'll see the quarterback, Franklin, pulling away just a little bit early. The center may have snapped the ball just a shade late, but anyway, Franklin got his hands out before the ball came there. He fumbled the ball. He made the recovery, but it was 4th down and a key play for the Buckeyes.
All right, at the end of the first half at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, the score. Ohio State 7, Michigan 3. We'll be back for halftime activities after station identification.
David Wayne guest stars in the streets of San Francisco tonight on ABC.
This week's NCAA message comes from James Decker, Athletic Director of Syracuse University and Chairman of the NCAA Television Committee. Mr. Decker's message reads as follows, and I'd like to remind you that I am reading his quote. With the 1972 college football season nearing its conclusion, on behalf of President Earl Raymer and the membership of the NCAA, I extend congratulations and thanks to ABC TV for its coverage this year. Rune Arledge, Chuck Howard, Andy Sedaris, Jim Spence, your announcers and technicians are true artists providing the best presentations in all of sports television. Continuing to quote James Decker of the NCAA Television Committee, the NCAA series blends ABC's ability to provide unique and imaginative production with a game of action, color, and great excitement. ABC accurately portrays college football as an intricate part of higher education. Your telecasts have helped it gain recognition as America's most interesting and diverse sports. Our thanks extend to all at ABC who played a role in the production of the excellent game telecasts and ancillary programs presented. Well, those of us at ABC appreciate the kind words from the NCAA and are proud to be associated with the great game of football with the executive director of the NCAA, Walter Byers, Tom Hansen, and of course, James Decker. I don't think they said enough about the announcers, though.
I got it in.
This is the University of Michigan Band, and they're going to salute Nostalgia. You know, there are a lot of folks that really dig rock and roll music, Ricky-Tick music, Basin Street blues, big band sounds. Well, you're going to hear all of it as the great University of Michigan marching band is on the field. It continues to drizzle. So, having just left Basin Street a few days ago, how about the Duke? Take the A train, Duke Ellington's tune. Also everybody's favorite, Count Basie, Swingin' Shepherd Blues. Well, now they're going to feature trombones, woodwind featured as well, and Dizzy Gillespie, who helped play How High the Moon. Popularized by Dizzy Gillespie and others, and the singing, I think, of Peggy Lee on that tune had a lot to do with its popularity. With Time on My Hands as a transitional tune, a reminder that Ohio State, the underdog, leads Michigan 7-3. Now, Bill Hill and the Comets, they really brought things on strong in the 50s with a tune called Rock Around the Clock. This is the University of Michigan Band. Originally chartered in 1817, the University of Michigan has maintained a standard of academic excellence for 155 years. Michigan has over 260,000 living alumni, the most of any school in America, but it is far from being so-called diploma mill. The university contains 18 separate schools and colleges, and each of its graduate schools has consistently ranked in the top 10 in the country. There are a total of 39,661 students at Michigan now, and the university strives to give individual attention. A $55 million building projected that was completed several years ago increased classrooms, research facilities, and the library system, which is the 5th largest in the nation. The main campus is located in Ann Arbor, but Michigan also has branches in Flint and Dearborn to meet the demands on an increasing student body, from astronauts to athletes and everything in between. This is Michigan. And now, let's go to Coach's Corner, hosted by Bill Fleming.
Thank you, Chris. Coach's Corner is brought to you by the Travelers Insurance Companies and Travelers Agents and brokers everywhere. And our special guest today on Coach's Corner is the head football coach of Notre Dame University, Ara Parseghian. And Ara, this is a typical slam-bang Ohio State-Michigan game, isn't it?
Bill, you can say that again. I think the thing, of course, the emotion is there. It always has been in Michigan and Ohio State games. But the thing I've been sort of impressed by is the way the momentum in this contest has shifted. I counted the plays that Ohio State ran in the first quarter. They ran a total of 6 offensive plays, and Michigan dominated, although they only got 1 field goal. Then in the second period, Ohio State came back and got the momentum, and it looked like the thing had turned around. Michigan comes right back and drives down the field, and of course the psychological thing that really hurt them was that fumble on that 4th down.
Oh, right.
But I think Michigan demonstrated early in the ball game, strategy-wise, that they were going to open up because they passed the football right on that second play of the game.
Right, and I think that is important. The second play of the ball game, as a matter of fact, it would be kind of unheard of to think that Michigan would be passing, but that they did, and this is the play.
Yeah, here it is on the second play of the game. Of course, these are two conservative football coaches in a sense, but Franklin rolled right out, and I think Coach Schembechler demonstrated early that he was willing to throw the football. Here's Franklin throwing the ball, and a completion right off the bat and we wind up with a first down for Michigan.
Right, and we'll be back to talk with Coach Archie about the second period of the ball game and some of the other highlights. And we'll be back to do that right after this message from the Travelers Insurance Companies.
Last year, we at the Travelers set up our Office of Consumer Information, a place you could call to have the mysteries of insurance explained in plain English without any fear of getting sold something in the process. Since then, we've had over 40,000 telephone calls and letters. And out of this experience, we've put together a booklet that answers some of the most important questions people have been asking us. Questions like, why do some insurance claims take so long to collect? If you turn in a claim, will your insurance automatically be canceled? What's this health care they're talking about in Washington? Just call us, and we'll send you a copy free. Or call us if you have any questions or problems about insurance. After all, now that we know that human beings and insurance companies really can talk with each other, we both might learn something.
Well, I think the thing that we ought to talk about a little bit, Ara, is the unbalanced line. And from a coaching standpoint, explain to our uninitiates what it really means.
Yeah, one of the things that Michigan is doing in this football game is they're moving their tackle over, and they're winding up with 3 men to the right side or left side with a double flanker to that side. Right. It's really an unbalanced line that requires some defensive adjustments. And Ohio State has adjusted. Later in the second quarter, they started to adjust, and then, of course, Franklin came back and came to the short side of the attack.
Let's take a look at the play from the unbalanced line, and this is the pass to Seal.
Well, this is a little reverse here that Franklin hid the ball very well, made a double fake to the inside. This was the key pass in the drive that led to the unfortunate for Michigan fumble at the goal line. This was a big play here at the tail end of the that drive that just failed for its score.
Now, one of the key plays for the Ohio State Buckeyes was that brilliant play by Hare, the Greg Hare, the quarterback.
Yes, this is the play I believe that probably set Ohio State off. Watch Hare fake the ball in here to the I-back, then keeps the ball, and I believe this is the first down, and I think probably gave Ohio State more confidence than anything else because Michigan has been a great defensive football team, and this play picked up 19.5 yards, and the first down for the Ohio State team, and I think psychologically it was a great play.
You know, psychologically, too, they had a 4th down and about 4 inches to go near midfield, and they went for the first down.
This is a big play, really. Here they are lined up. Now, you'll notice that Michigan has not gone into a goal line defense. They're playing a standard defense with the linebackers off in anticipation possibly of a pass. But they're playing a standard defense and not gambling with any goal line defense. And, of course, they make the first down because they didn't take any risk.
Here, I well remember 2 years ago in a similar situation when Ohio State had a 4th and 6 inches. Michigan went into a goal line defense, and all of a sudden they hit Jankowski on a post pattern for a touchdown. So perhaps Bo was a little wary.
Well, I can see why it would be, but that is a big play, Bill, because had Michigan stopped Ohio State there with a 3-0 lead, they would have had field position at midfield, and they were moving the football, and that's a big play.
All right, how about your observations about the second half?
Well, I think psychologically it's going to be interesting to see just exactly what Michigan how they will react to that disappointment of not scoring. Ohio State will get the football, and I think the early downs, whether or not they move that ball, it could be disastrous for Michigan if they're not able to hold on this first series because I think the momentum, again, let's watch to see where the momentum goes. The outcome of the game will be determined by who has that momentum last.
Okay, well, I know that you hope that your Irish have momentum against Southern California next week. We'll see you in California.
You betcha, Bill. Thank you.
All right, our guest today on the Coach's Corner has been the head football coach at Notre Dame, Archie. Coach's Corner is brought to you by the Travelers Insurance Companies and Travelers agents everywhere.
And here, ladies and gentlemen, you have the Ohio State University Band. And they're coming up with a tune that, well, we all agree with, that love makes the world go round. Halftime score for those of you that just joined us, Ohio State leading 7-3 as Ohio State went 46 yards in 7 plays. Michigan kicked a 35-yard field goal at the beginning of the second quarter. Well, we've may have missed Love Makes the World Go Round, but I hope you agree with that philosophy. Musically, we didn't hear it, but we may now see a cradle formed by the Ohio State University Band. Cradle and Rockabye Baby. The OSU band, long famous for its script writing formation. Well, they're going to form a bottle that has an X on it. And you'll hear a little stripper music. As they say, a painted woman of the city passes by. The Michigan-Ohio State game is being brought to you by Chevrolet, building a better way to see the USA. By Schick Incorporated, makers of the new Flexomatic shaver and other fine personal care products. By Goodyear, more people ride on Goodyear tires than on any other kind. And by Holiday Inn, the most accommodating people in the world. This is the OSU band, and after seeing sort of the barroom stripper scene, there is no place like home, and that's what they're playing. Little drama on the deal, lots of music by both bands as the underdog Ohio State Buckeyes, with a record of 8-1, lead undefeated Michigan at halftime, 7-3. They're indicating that the moral of this whole story is now to be found that love is what makes the world go round. And they like to teach the world to sing. Well, there's a daily double, apple pie and ABC. Thank you, Walt and Spence. There it is, the script as written by the OSU band. And love. Well, it would be hard to say who won the Battle of the Bands today. I think it's a tie.
It's Spitz. Spitz has the lead. He's done it again. Mark Spitz, winner of 7 gold medals.
You know, since the Olympics, I've had a lot of job offers. But I chose Schick Electric because they represent quality. Like this Schick Flexomatic shaver. They engineered the Flexomatic head so it really gets close. So close, I know it's going to be #1. That's why I teamed up with Schick. They don't like to lose either.
Let's see, we have 12 inns in San Francisco. Which? Oh, yes, sir.
Reservation.
Oh, and your valet service. Could they pick up a suit
Welcome to our annual
Great.
Western sales meeting. I have some figures here I'd like to show you.
If we can accomplish tomorrow what we did today, we'll be in great shape.
Today, this Holiday Inn made 463 businessmen a little more efficient by making them a little more relaxed. So next time you travel on business, stay with Holiday Inn, the most accommodating people in the world.
Any good news, Julius?
Mark IV.
I see but one.
Verily, such stuff as dreams are made of. Mark IV.
Ah, thy cigar. What a noble thing it is. Tell me, hast thou struck it rich? 20 cents. Noble.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me thy box. Take this 4-pack for thy tilde pocket.
There are still some good things. Mark IV.
A noble cigar.
We're in Columbus, where Ohio State University is a principal center for undergraduate, graduate, and professional education in the state of Ohio. Founded in 1870, Ohio State's main campus is in Columbus, the state capital, and its 4 regional campuses make instruction available in various areas of the state. Its students number nearly 50,000 and represent every Ohio county, 49 states, and over 70 foreign countries. Ohio State is a comprehensive university, offering on one campus not only programs in the arts and sciences, but programs in all major professional fields. Its 16 colleges and graduate school offer more than 250 individual study programs and over 7,000 courses. While proud of its traditionally fine athletic program, Ohio State is equally proud of its role of providing quality education to the youth of our nation.
With me right now is Mr. Bob Lund, General Sales Manager of Chevrolet. And Bob, I know you're very happy to be part of this Ohio State-Michigan tradition on the football field.
Well, this is a great day and a great game filled with emotion and tradition. And certainly we at Chevrolet like to feel that we've made a substantial contribution to college football through our sponsorship of the game. We're proud to be here today and proud to bring America collegiate football.
Okay, and we'll be looking forward to those Chevrolet Scholarship Awards to the outstanding defensive and offensive players following the game. Now let's go back to Chris Schenkel.
Thank you, Bob and Bill. All right, Bill Fleming's alma mater's in the lead. Or, I mean, they are trailing. Excuse me, Bill. Bill's from Michigan.
Ohio State had the choice at halftime, and they chose to receive.
All right. Well, on a 46-yard march in 7 plays, Ohio State has taken the lead, and they thwarted an 80-yard drive. All right, here are the Buckeyes at the 5, 10, 15. Bashnagel comes across to about the 22-yard line on a fine return as the second half is underway. 21 yards on carrying the second half kickoff. So it'll be the Buckeyes who have a 7-3 lead. Three-pointer for Michigan coming at 14-13 of the second quarter, or in other words, the beginning, a 35-yard field goal. And with 4:30 left in the first half, Ohio State scored. Then in the final seconds, the Ohio State defense stopped Michigan at the goal line. Now from the 22, 1st and 10, Greg Hare's the quarterback for the Buckeyes. Markers down as Griffin tries to get outside. Offside against the Wolverines.
A remarkably free game of penalties. Michigan in the first half penalized once for offside and once for procedure. Ohio State penalized for running into a punt man on the fair catch signal, which they failed to see, and they too had one procedure penalty.
Looking at 74, you get an idea of the size of college football players. That's John Hicks, 6'3", 254 pounds, and almost the speed of a halfback. Both teams have growing boys on them. Here's the 5-yard penalty being stepped off against the powerful Wolverines, who come into this game undefeated and hoping for a Rose Bowl bid. And you get the lineup for Ohio State. Bartosik, Teague, Kriegel, Myers, Bonica, Hicks, and Pugic. And here's the backfield. Hare, Griffin, Galbos, and Henson. Henson, who has 20 touchdowns on the year, the leading scorer in the country. So now it's a 1st down and 5 at the 27. Griffin, the freshman from Columbus, number 45, carrying on the play. And defensively for the Wolverines, 96 Spearman, 92 Grambo, 34 Much, Another linebacker, 68 Ellis, 37 Key. The tackle, 71 Gallagher. Coleman, the defensive right end. Number 8 Burks, number 6 Brown, 41 Logan, and 25 Datzauer make up the 11 men that are trying to stop the Buckeyes, who lead 7-3. Now with the ball at the 30. It's a second down and 2. First down, Buckeyes. Griffin.
And the strategy has not changed. The first half, Ohio State kept it right on the ground. The statistics will indicate this very well. Michigan has the edge in the statistics, as you can see, 192 total yards to 90. Ohio State threw only one pass, and that was incomplete, so they have no yards passing. And time of possession, total domination by Michigan, 18:39 to 11:21. That means they had the ball 7 minutes longer than Ohio State.
Now with the ball at the 33. First and 10, Ohio State. Griffin, number 45, carrying again. Putting his shoulder in was number 37, Tom Key, but tripping him up. 34 Much and 39 Coleman. As we look at Griffin, a freshman, 5'10", 185 pounds.
I felt before the game that the team could pass the most successfully would be the team that won, and Michigan had 90 yards passing in the first half, so if that prediction holds on, Ohio State will have to put a little in the air.
Well, there was a welcome for our president, Roone Arledge. It was a phi gam, right, Bud?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2nd and 8. Greg Hare from his own 35 to the 30 of Michigan.
And that has to be one of the best fakes that we've seen all year. Henson coming over the ball brought the whole Michigan defense in with it. I thought, honestly, he did have the ball. Let's take a look at it again. Here he is. It's Keith at fullback this time. Or rather, pardon me, it was number 45, Griffin, who made that super fake. But that closed the Michigan defense. Hare kept it and then did some brilliant running.
35 yards, first down at the Michigan 30. Ohio State's lead 7-3. There he goes. So long. Ohio State, touchdown.
That's that old 1-2 punch. You fake to him the first time and let him have it the second time.
And the battling Buckeyes have gone 78 yards in 6 plays to take a 13-3 lead, and Santa's happy as well. Blair Conway to try the point after.
I didn't know we had any prejudice Santas.
And that was not a gift touchdown either. They really poured it on. 78 yards, 6 plays, 12 minutes, 32 seconds left in the third quarter. It's now 14-3. The underdog Buckeyes in the lead.
It wasn't too long ago that you had to do a lot of things to keep your car running right. Seemed like we spent as much time in the car as we spent on the road. Why, many of us still remember when a car needed a lube job every 1,000 miles. Well, nowadays, General Motors cars are designed to give you years of service. And they give them with very little attention. In fact, they've improved to the point where many GM owners take their cars for granted. But lubrication is as important today as ever, except that under normal driving conditions, you now only have to do it every 6,000 miles. And when was the last time you had it done? When did you last check the tire pressure? Or the battery connections? Or the belts to your water pump, fan, and alternator? Do you change the oil every 4 months or 6,000 miles as recommended? It's all spelled out in your owner's manual, you know. And when was the last time you looked at it?
All heck is broken loose here at Ohio Stadium in Columbus because the hometown team has just scored, leading now 14-3, kicking off to heater number 44 of Michigan at the 5. 10-15. Oh, he comes outside. He turns a corner at the 25, 30, 35, 40, out of bounds at the 42. Chuck Heater on a 41-yard kickoff return following an Ohio State touchdown to put him ahead 14-3. Wow.
Boy, I love these games. He has got some great speed. I thought he had it all the way. There's the Michigan offensive line.
All right, a Dennis. Hearts pound here at Ohio Stadium, including ours. At the 42-yard line, let's see what the Wolverines can do. Can they come from behind and remain undefeated? Rather over to the far side along with Hazelrig from the 42. And Dennis Franklin, the quarterback, handing off to one of his backs. Get him for you in just a minute. He is number 30, reserve fullback, Bob Thornblad. He was stopped by Jones and Middleton, those linebackers, at the 46.
Made a great drive like Ohio State did to go ahead 14-3. You'd like to make that kickoff tackle way back deep and give him a long way to go, but Michigan wasn't beating that. Great blocking and a great run.
Continues to drizzle. 2nd and 6 at the 46 of Michigan. Here's Franklin. Out go the receivers. Heater is open at the 45. First down. Jeff Davis on the tackle. So the Wolverines come storming back. Wolverines scored first at the beginning of the second quarter on a 35-yard field goal. Ohio State came back with 4.5 to go, 46-7, and in the old Oaken Bucket battle, Purdue leads Indiana 7-0.
And Franklin continues to have an outstanding day passing, 7 of 10 for 99 yards to give the balance to the Michigan attack.
Penn could win the Ivy League championship with an upset over Dartmouth. Excuse me, tie. 43, Hazelrig carrying on the play. That was a 1st and 10 play from the 45, Grandishar. As we look at Coach Wayne Woodrow Hayes, a graduate of Denison in 35, 3 national championships, Coach of the Year twice. Oh, boy.
And especially woven rug leading into the dressing room facilities of the Buckeyes. It had 1971, Michigan 10, Ohio State 7, and it's been blank for a full year now with the result ready to be woven of this year's game.
Daniels and Hazelrig in the slot formation of the far side, 2nd and 6. And Dennis Franklin, the sophomore Wolverine quarterback, is stopped by Arnold Jones.
And the unbalanced line continues to give Ohio State trouble.
Bo Schembechler, who played for Woody Hayes at Miami, graduating in 51. And on that team, the Miami team, Ara Parseghian, Johnny Pont, Paul Dietzel, Paul Schultz. Boy, a lot of them have become, well, they've all become fine coaches. Now with the ball at the 36, 3rd and 1. Excuse me, bud. 3rd and 1, a big one. Thornblad gets the Michigan first down.
And guess who he ran behind? Paul Seymour, number 77, 6'5", 250. The amazingly effective blocking tackle of Michigan.
Well, the Seymour family in Michigan must be proud of their 2 sons, Jim, who played at Notre Dame, now playing for professional football. And here's Paul, a lineman, a good one. 1st and 10, the ball is at the 33. Bo Rather and Hazelrig are set to this side, the wide side. What a run by Heater. Boy, he shows me a little, bud.
When you break the tackles as he did there, you're absolutely accurate.
Scannell, number 83. That's off whom Heater spun.
And Ohio State still having trouble getting rid.
Here's a 2nd and 1.
We had a stunt on the last time by Ohio State, and their linebacker went the wrong way. I thought that the play might have really popped, but the man coming from the other side broke clean.
Paul Seals is the tight end to the far side. The split end to this side is Rather, number 15. Thornblad carried on the play. First down. Hart, the center, 56. And 60, the right guard, Coyle, made that hold.
And that's one of the plays that I like the best. Normally, you fake to the first man and give to the second. And when you cross them up by giving to the first man and then faking to the second, you freeze the linebackers. At least usually you do.
Okay, Coach Wilkinson. Coming to the near side now, Hazelrig, 43 is in the slot. 15, Rather set away from the 16 of Ohio State. And the Wolverines churn it out with Heater carrying the ball. He moves to the 10 for another 6-yard gain with 8:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's 14-3. Ohio State leading undefeated Michigan.
Heater only weighs 205, but he runs like he weighs about 235. Brilliant sophomore.
Thornblad has carried the ball 6 times for 25 yards. Heaters up to 60 yards now as they go into the eye. The slot formation to the near side. Gustafson is in the slot, replacing Hazelrig on a 2nd and 4. Franklin to the 5. Doug Plank, number 28, on the tackle, and it is 1st and goal.
That was a remarkable play. Franklin really didn't have any opening, but by faking the pitch, he split the two defenders who were coming up. If they just ignored pitch and played him, they'd have stopped him. A little hard to do, easy to talk about.
Oh, those people that trigger these college football offenses, how important. Fellas like Terry Davis.
Let's watch Scannell here, who's the defensive end. Pardon me, it's number 88, Decree. And he's in position here, along with the defensive halfback.
Play in this drive. 1st and goal. Great defensive play by number 71, Pete Cusick from Lakewood, Ohio.
In the first half, at the close of the half, Michigan had moved to a 1st down at the Ohio State 1.5-yard line, and the Buckeyes stopped them. They have another chance here.
Rather split to the near side. Franklin faking, throwing. Another terrific defensive play on Thornblad, the fullback, who did catch the pass. Colsey, a sophomore. There he is, number 20. Thornblad is shaken up on the play with the ends tight. And Dennis Franklin is right. There's no way his teammates could hear the signals.
And you can tell.
You'll see that performance, and we'll never forget it. 3rd and goal. Let's see if the ball is loose. Watch. Oh, boy.
Well, he fumbled the ball, Chris, but
Hazelrig
coming back in saying he was down first.
43 in white carried the ball. Grandishar, one of several tacklers now. The ball is inside the hash mark.
And watch the red shirts. Here's the power sweep of Michigan, their basic offensive play. It looks as though they've got it formed. And it's up and over, and watch this. Boom. And you can see the ball. I guess you couldn't quite.
Now, if you're a new play in this drive, 4th and goal. Touchdown, Michigan. Shuttlesworth powering in
behind Paul Seymour.
58 yards, 13 plays, and Michigan is back into contention with a score 14-9. They'll try for the point in a moment. There he is, Shuttlesworth. Try for 2 instead of the automatic conversion. Here we go. And it is 14-11. Hazelrig caught that pitch.
And a very sound choice on the part of the Michigan staff. If they miss it, 2 field goals would get them back in there. And if they make it, of course, now 1 field goal will give them a tie. And if they tie, they can still go to the Rose Bowl. Let's take a look at the touchdown again. This is the 4th down play. 4th down from the 1.5-yard line. And that Michigan line really fires out. Seymour doing a great job. Fellas, we're popping it in all the way over. And let's take a look now at the extra point, the rollout pass. Option to pass or run on Franklin's part. And he makes it look as though he's going to run. But he sees Hazelrig, who had hooked in front. And the pass was completed for the 2 points, and it's 14-11.
Well, the constant drizzle has not dampened the intense play on the field. Here now, Michigan kicking off. Mike Landry kicking off, and it's coming back over here to Brian Bashnagel. Bashnagel out to the 20, down at about the 22. He is tackled by number 16, Dave Zuccarelli, and Len Harden. 78 yards in 6 plays. Greg Hare, the quarterback. Griffin, like a little jitterbug. Roy Burks and Tom Key on the tackle. Thornblad, they have here on a drizzly gray afternoon. 2nd down and 6. Griffin. now tarred by Steve Strinko, number 59. Look at that, 6'3", 235 pounds from Middletown, Ohio, which also produced the NBA's Jerry Lucas.
Key play.
Dave Hazel split to the far side on 3rd and 7. And the Buckeyes keep it right there in the trenches. Griffin. He is close. Back to punt is Lego, number 92. We have 2 men going deep for the Michigan Wolverines. The punt is at the 35, and very brave Dave Brown, number 6. A marker goes down. Ooh. Jim Hicks, number 74 in red. He's beefing. Complained perhaps again that he didn't hold his hand up. Did you see a hand, Bud?
If he held it up, it was just really momentarily, honestly. I didn't see it up there with any clear signal.
Let's see it again.
Hey, Ma, he didn't signal.
There he is looking for it, and I don't see the hand up at all. Here's the reception, and well, he didn't give him a yard. He's got to give him a yard in which to catch the ball. He was right on top of him as he made the catch.
All right. Boy, that is a Wolverine break. They get the ball at the 49, their own. They've scored last and then went for 2. The score is now 14-11, 2:40 to go, 3rd quarter. And pounding ahead was Shuttlesworth, who scored the touchdown, capping a 58-yard march in it's the eye in the backfield. Shuttlesworth and Heater. That was Shuttlesworth. Arnold Jones was right with him. See him getting up, number 42, and 83, Mike Scannell, who's played quite a game. He's from Sylvania, Ohio. Rather to the far side. As a flanker, the split end of this side is Hazelrig. And he goes to his tight end on a beautiful call, Paul Seal. That was a nifty call. First down, Michigan.
And just enough of a running move by Franklin, who has been running the option effectively, to bring the Ohio State linebacker up to open it for Seal. He found the lane.
First down. 9 of 12 for Franklin passing. Heater. Gain of perhaps a yard. Arnold Jones again in there.
I believe that's the first time in this half that they've stopped them on first down. They've been grinding out 5 or 6 yards on first down and keeping control of the percentage of possession.
But the Buckeyes with 3 great linebackers, Middleton 32.
Have not completed that pass.
2nd and 9 from the Ohio State 28. There again, it's 42 Jones from Dayton, Ohio, tackling Heater at about the 25, bringing up a 3rd down.
And Heater, I think, was shaken up on the play. He took himself out of the game.
But I talked about those 3 linebackers. Middleton, 32, is a junior. Jones, 42, is a sophomore. Grandasher, the All-American, is a junior. Wow. We'll be back with the 4th quarter in a moment. On a drizzly day, 87,187 watch as Michigan begins the 4th quarter, 3rd and 5 at the Ohio State 24, trailing 14-11. Wow. Very close to the first down by the quarterback, Dennis Franklin. Rich Parsons from Cayuga Falls, Ohio, in on the play defensively for the Buckeyes. It's going to be close to that first down. Let's see where they spot it. Look to the far side. That was a 3rd down play, don't forget.
That gives us that other dimension that we mentioned earlier, Chris, in the first half.
Yes.
If you're a championship team, you got to feel you can make a yard, and they're not going to take the field goal. They're going to try to make that yard.
Yeah, it's a little less than a yard. On 4th down now, the Wolverines, who trail by 3, 14-11. They didn't make it. Shuttlesworth, the fullback, And the linebacker shooting the gap, Middleton. And Jones.
The last 3 critical first down situations, Michigan has gone over their great blocking tackle, Seymour. That time, Ohio State shot the gap on both sides, and Seymour can't block 2 of them. Let's watch it again.
There he is, 32.
You'll see him coming from the right of the screen. And he came home absolutely clean to meet Shuttlesworth in the backfield. A big play for State.
All right, now with the ball at the 21 of OSU, the Buckeyes with a slot formation on the near side. They lead 14-11. Dave Hazel is the split end. Hare keeps it on the ground, giving to Archie Griffin, the freshman. A lot of big folks on the field. There's quite a variety coming up. Remember Olga Corbett in the Munich games, delighting us all? Well, she sustained an injury this week in Russia, and we'll have her not only a report on her condition, but we'll show you many of her performances that delighted millions here in this country. That's on Wide World of Sports at 5 Eastern Time, plus Muhammad Ali, Bob Foster, heavyweight fight, and World Ski Fly. Right now, let's fly down on the field here on a 2nd down and 10. An interception. Randy Logan, the All-America. Intercepting Hare.
That's only the 2nd pass thrown by Ohio State.
And only the 8th interception of the year on Hare or Ohio State. The 17th for the Wolverines.
He really hung it out. Let's watch Hare. Let's watch Logan, number 41, as he moves across. Hare was rolling out, and he really didn't drill the ball at all. It came in very softly. Logan was in front. The Wolf of Michigan making a key interception.
And the ball will next be snapped from the Ohio State 29, Michigan with it.
This is Emerson Fittipaldi, world champion Grand Prix driver. Ride with him on this practice run in his Texaco-fueled JPS Lotus.
I enjoy driving racing cars. The sensation is incredible. Out on the circuit by yourself, the feeling I have is to be like to be on the moon. The sensation, you know, of speed is just unbelievable.
Texaco furnishes the fuels and lubricants for Emerson Fittipaldi's JPS Lotus in every Grand Prix event. The same technical skill that goes into making these products goes into the Texaco gasolines and Haviland motor oil available to you. Trust Texaco. Emerson Fittipaldi does.
Yes, sir. 13:32 left in the game. 14-11 Ohio State. Michigan has just intercepted. They have the ball at the 29 of the Buckeyes. First down. Franklin. And Dennis moves to about the 26 on the play, met by Rich Parsons and Rick Middleton.
Logan is the rover man. They call him the Wolf in the Michigan defense. And this is how a rover ought to play. That's Galbos coming out. He gives Galbos a very good wrap. Reed's pass, goes right with him. He's covered deep with a defensive safety man, and he simply moves over in front of Galbos to make the interception.
None of the fans have left this stadium, even though it's rained from the start. It's a 2nd down and 7 for the favored Wolverines. There's the pitch to Heater. A block by Shuttlesworth. And a defensive move by the Buckeyes. 53 Grandishar, 42 Jones, those linebackers. Wow. And they'll be back next year on the Ohio State campus. Notice how you see number 13, Larry Sippa, warming up on the far sideline for the Wolverines. Okay, with the ball now just across the 25. Let's call it 3rd down and 6. Franklin is 9 of 12 throwing. Beautiful to that tight end once more. Paul Seal on a Raymond Berry type catch as Middleton is over there and looks shaken up.
He paid the price, but he made the first down. Let's watch him again. 6'6", 213-pound Paul Seal. Ohio State in a rush. Man-for-man defense. Seal making the break and getting a little bit of an assist from the umpire, who shook Plank off momentarily.
Ball is covered by a towel just between the hash marks 19 and 18. Let's call it 19. For Michigan, 1st and 10, slot formation to the near side. And Banks, the deep back, number 20, a junior from Cleveland, carried on the play. Remember, this drive was made possible less than a yard. Mather and Hazelrig to this side of the field. First down, powerful Ed Shuttlesworth, the junior fullback.
The passing of Michigan thus far has been key in their ability to move the ball.
All right, Middleton on that stop, along with Shad Williams. And the ball is just short of the 5 with a 1st and goal. And then Michigan went 58 yards. And they went for 2 and got it. It's 14-11. Harry Banks, number 20. Fresh, as he has not been in the lineup until this series of downs, was stopped by Neil Colsey, and there you see the result of the hard hitting. Banks is down.
That's Colsey, the Ohio State.
Oh, excuse me, Colsey.
Both 2 number 20s, Chris.
Right. 10 minutes, 29 seconds left in the game. We'll be back.
Ball is a game of violent contact. This is the last play. You'll see Banks, number 20 for Michigan, taking the pitch here from Franklin. Colsey, number 20 for Ohio State, coming up, and that is contact.
Colsey has been replaced by John Hughes, number 44 of Duquesne, Pennsylvania. Kuhn has replaced Middleton at linebacker. 2nd and goal from the 4 for Michigan. 3rd down and goal at about the 1.5. Banks carrying on that play.
I'd do what they do. I'd run it right over Seymour when the pressure's on.
Jones and Grandishar again.
And Woody thinks they're going to go wide. He's substituting his speed again.
And Colsey is back in, number 20. So is Middleton, number 32. You can see the towel covering the football because it continues to rain in even harder now. We have 9:50 left in the game. 3rd and goal at the 1.5. And Ohio State, let's see what the play, if the whistle blew on Banks at the just short of the goal line. Can Ohio State do it again? Well, there's 4th down coming up.
Let's watch it again. Banks really hits this one with some authority. And then he keeps his feet after he stopped. I don't know how you could come out of a mass like that. But he was stopped just short of the goal line, then spun out around, keeping his feet, but he did not score. 4th down, goal to go.
Ohio State has held twice on 4th downs. Here's the 3rd. Let's see what the Wolverines will do. All right. Oh, is this close? Holy mackerel.
He didn't make it. He didn't make it, Chris.
Okay.
What a goal line stand.
Ground-oriented football. Trying to keep free of errors as Middleton, Jones, Grandishar, those linebackers we were talking about, they are superb.
And the most amazing statistic, Chris, that we've had all year, with 8 minutes and 53 seconds remaining, Michigan has had possession of the ball in this game 37 minutes and 18 seconds. Ohio State has had the ball only 14 minutes and 49 seconds. That's amazing ball possession. And if you look at the scoreboard, you're behind by 3 points. Can't believe it.
So from just across the goal line, Power T from the backfield, getting out of that sticky territory. Randy Keith, number 4, carrying on the play. Strinko.
Quarterback sneak by Franklin, and you can see number 53, Grandishar, shooting the gap, hitting Franklin in the backfield to prevent the touchdown. Let's look at it again from another angle. He's trying to find that little gap in there, but there just is no gap.
What a game. John Smyrda from Allentown, 85, is in at tight end as they go to the straight tee on 2nd and 9 from their own 2. Ohio State leading 14-11. Turning it out as a marker is dropped on the far side.
And I think that's a big, big break for Ohio State because Michigan offside again.
Right. little yardage by Randy Keith, the Ohio State reserve fullback. So it'll be a third down. We have 7 minutes, 42 seconds left in the ball game. Remember, a tie could send the Wolverines to the Rose Bowl. But 38 Henson is back in the lineup. Third down and about to. Fourth down coming up as a Wolverine defense led by Walt Sexton, 55 of Massapequa, Long Island, is in on the play. And there's Coach Woody Hayes.
And his pulse is beating.
Well, I guess. Plenty of time. Coming up to the 7-minute mark of this ball game. Now we have two Wolverines going back. Number 6 is Brown. Sacarella is the other, and there's Coach Hayes of Ohio State. Lego, 92, punting from his own end zone. Gets the kickoff in the rain. Good field position for Michigan. Brown has it, and he is down at the 37. So the Michigan Wolverines, with 6:37 to go and trailing 11-14, will get the ball at the 37. Okay, back again where excitement prevails. 6:37 to go in the ball game as it drizzles. It's underdog Ohio State leading 14-11. And for Michigan, they now have the ball at the Ohio State 37 with a first down. And if they can tie, or win, of course, they win the Big Ten title and a Rose Bowl invitation.
They've had only one turnover in the game, an interception. There's been one fumble, but that was recovered by Franklin of Michigan. Error-free game.
Franklin handing off to Ed Shuttlesworth, 227-pound fullback, who has alternated with Thornblatt at that position today.
Mike's in a 13 key.
Second down and 6. And the big lineman broke through. Cusick, along with Hazenall, 71 and 70.
That was the draw play, draw fake on the rollout, and Ohio did not take the fake, and what a key play.
Boy, oh boy. Defensive football. We saw it Thursday. 5:23 to go. They trail by 3. Rather. Covering and leaping was Neil Colsey, number 20.
And a great coverage on his part. Boy, he was on him all the way. And magnificent protection by the Michigan line. Ohio playing pass, trying to rush, but Franklin had as much time as he needed back there. The coverage was just too good.
Now, Bud, 4th down and 10.
At this point, Chris, I think I'd punt.
Okay. Peter not getting the ball, but a rush was put on Franklin by number 88, Van de Cree. Will return in a moment. The drizzle cutting across the field here in Ohio as for the 4th time the Ohio State defense is held. Another 37 first down. Griffin on a wet field, losing his footing at about the 35, Bud.
And when you've had the ball as long as Michigan has, you just can't believe you've only got 11 points up there, and that the other team has got 14.
But for Michigan can take the title and a bowl invitation. All right. Out here in the flat, 2nd and 12. Griffin. First down, Buckeyes.
Well, I'll guarantee you that's something Bo Schoenbecker in Michigan did not expect to see Ohio State throw their 3rd pass of the afternoon at that point in time.
Now it's snowing in Ohio Stadium.
Let's watch it again. This is Key, number 37. It's a little swing pass to Griffin. Key is trying to stay with this brilliant freshman. He's been popped around a little bit, and he didn't have quite speed enough to get to him.
Bartasek to the far side at the 48 of Michigan. First down, Ohio State. 4 minutes about remaining in the game, and Griffin is nailed at the line.
He did what he wanted him to do, stay inbounds.
All right, the clock is running. 3:55 to go. 14-11, and 10 for the Buckeyes. Clock is running, 3.5 minutes to go. They lead by 3. And number 4, Randy Keith, stopped by Grambo. Time getting very crucial for Michigan. Second, and 2:55 to go, and wow. Forcing them out of bounds, the Wolverines. Galbos.
And we may get a penalty here, I'm not sure.
Tom Key,
yeah, we did.
37.
We did, an unnecessary roughness penalty against the Wolverines for hitting the man when he was out of bounds, and that gives an all-important first down to the Buckeyes.
Well, Bo Schembachler is beaten twice. Woody Hayes has defeated his pupil only once.
Here's Key again. Let's watch the play. This is the preceding play in which they got the penalty. Key makes the tackle. The ball carrier's down, and you can see the pop. Here's Grambo, number 92. He's chasing, and here he comes. The player's down. He's out of bounds, and he was on top of him. I don't think he could stop his momentum.
First and 10 from the 29. And the Wolverines trying to stop the nation's leading scorer with 20 touchdowns, Harold Henson. And all the grace and beauty of gymnastics, Olga Corbett, the little Russian. That was a second down play. Galbos carrying the ball. Burks, number 8, making the tackle. Time left. Coming up to the 2-minute mark, Bud.
He's got very short.
Go. Ohio State trying to protect its 3-point lead. Third. Fourth down coming up. Griffin carrying. And the clock continues to move. 1:27, 26.
Michigan just took their first time out to kill the clock, thinking that they'll be able to stop Ohio State on the next snap and get the ball.
Approximately a 47-yard kick. Myers to snap the ball. It's up. No good. So the Wolverines have 1 minute and 20 seconds to launch a drive, which will begin at their own 20. 14-11, Ohio State. No score in the first quarter. Halftime 7-3. Then they were 14-11 at the end of 3. That's the score now.
You got 2 timeouts to work with. You got 80 yards to go. You've got a brilliant sophomore quarterback in Franklin, and you've got a shot.
All right, from the 20 now. First down. Here's Franklin. 3 men going upfield. A long pass. Rather. Not controlled. Second down and 10.
And as so often happens, they had it too well covered, and the 2 Ohio State men took the ball away from each other.
Rick Middleton, the linebacker, 32 and 28. Doug Plank. We're back on the play, covering Rather 15.
Let's watch Rather again, number 15 for Michigan. Breaking down the field, a straight fly pattern, and the ball is a little bit underthrown, and you can see the 2 Ohio State men knock each other off the ball.
Now, 1:13 to get down and 10th, their own 20. Rather and Hazelrig set away from the line. Here's Franklin. Going deep. Look out. Oh! In the midst and out. Hazelrig covered by Jeff Davis.
I'll guarantee you that was some play on the part of Hazelrig. He had him beat. Going back against Davis. And he can move. There he is. He's open. He's got him beat. If Franklin can throw the ball a little closer to the sidelines, instead of making him come back inside to get it, if he'd hung it out on the sidelines, Hazelrig would have been able to take it all away.
And now it's 3rd down and 10 with 1 minute and 6 seconds. Well, it's about 39 here. And the Wolverines are 80 yards away. Here's a pass to Rather, getting the first down and out of bounds. Where did that official mark the departure from the field?
I think he's going to say it was just barely short, Chris.
Wow, the mitts were across the 30, the ball.
That's getting a little technical. Let's watch it again. Just a little hook pattern. You're going to play him deep. Yeah, he appeared to me that he was well over that 30-yard line. But
mackerel.
That'll take some time if they do it that way.
And they failed in the past.
You weren't going to get any goal line defense from Ohio State on that snap.
Shuttlesworth. It's a first down. Now 57 seconds to go, and it appears that a time has been called by the man that's refereeing his final game, Russ Dean. All right, following this, it'll be the Kodak All-America show. And you'll see some great players, 24 of the best in the country. 10 with 57 seconds to go. They're at their own 31. Franklin. A long pass, wobbly. Intended for Hazelrig. That was Jeff Davis, 16, covering. 2nd and 10. 51 seconds to go.
And beautiful pass defense here. Hazelrig going down the field. Davis has got him, reading him to the inside. And he gets some support. Number 24 coming across is Parsons. Throwing the ball, and they're doing everything they can to get around him. They so far protected Franklin.
2nd and 10. Rather out of bounds about the 45. First down. Time on the clock, 46 seconds. And now, what Michigan must do to get a share of the Big Ten title and an invitation to the Rose Bowl is tie.
This time the sprint out by Franklin was toward the top of your screen and rather just ran a little out pattern. The end and the corner man had to stay up, and it left him open in front of the halfback, Davis.
46 seconds. At the 45 of Michigan, first down. Here's Franklin. Oh, there's a pressure on him. Rather, he's at the Ohio State 41. Colsey covering. 40 seconds to go, Bud.
And Ohio State went with the rush that time, the blitz, as you could see. But once again, the Michigan linemen picked up every one of the linebackers as they came in. And Franklin, rolling out, was running away from
1.
And they've got one timeout remaining, so they could throw something into the field.
Going deep through the hands of senior Bo Rather of Sandusky, Ohio. 2nd and 10. Colsey covering on the play. There he is, number 20. There's Rather, 15.
I'll guarantee you this last minute has seemed like 15 to Woody Hayes.
Well, Bud, 2 exciting games like this in 1 week is a little taxing.
And that's what tradition
but fun.
and college football excellence can.
In the eye in the backfield, a flanker. Split in. Franklin. He's going to run it. No gain. Rick Middleton on the play. The clock is running. 25 seconds to go. 24, 23, 22, 21. They're lining up in a hurry. 18 seconds to go. 3rd down and 10. That was intended for Hazelrig.
That was intended to kill the clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we're going to have something here that's tragic. The crowd has come out and taken down the goalposts, and Michigan has a timeout remaining, so that if they can move it down there, there's going to be no goalpost for them to kick, and the wind is different, so if you change to try to kick it against the other goalpost, and we've got some idiotic people down at the other goal line shaking the goalpost, which is really terrible.
They may defeat their own purpose. Boy, oh boy. The stadium police are moving in and getting the folks away, but it's too late. As you see, the goalposts are gone.
I was wondering a little bit when I saw those wooden goalposts extended over the normal bend that you can see in the.
And look at the people at the opposite end just waiting for a souvenir. Coach Woody Hayes tried to go down. He's a courageous man to help stop. And down at the opposite end, we have Big John Hicks. Well, listen, I wouldn't square off with him, especially with face guard and a helmet on, or even with it off. That's what's left.
You can see the bar. If they had just left the aluminum goalposts there, they might have taken all of that down, but there wasn't any wood there to take home. They put sort of false goalposts you can see out of wood in front of it.
No, I've seen Bill Friel and I, this is our 422nd television game together, and we've seen a lot of things like a game ended early, Cleveland and New York, but never anything like this where the possibility, well, nevertheless, here it is, a big 4th down, and there you have it. Hayes and all mixed the tackle on Franklin, and the Ohio State defense is being deluged by youngsters.
And when the ball changes hands, the clock stops, so there's 6 seconds remaining on the clock, but I would guess the officials had assumed Ohio State could run a safe quarterback sneak and run the clock out.
So this will be the second time on television that we have seen the early ending to a game because of what the picture tells you.
Bo Schlembecker would like to see one more play. I can see him over there getting the crowd on field. It looks like they're going to have one more play, I believe. The other goalposts are down also, but that's not going to make much difference at this point in time.
The home crowd, their team has a 14-11 lead with 6 seconds left on the clock, and for the 5th time they have held on downs against an undefeated and number 3 ranked Michigan team, Bud.
Those 2 goal line stands were really magnificent, and they made the difference. We've got the field cleared now, and we're going to get a quarterback sneak of 6 seconds by the quarterback for Ohio State, Greg Hare, and that's
look at Jim
John Hicks going out there, and maybe he says we won, and just try to come across me, and I guarantee you won't get there.
Of course, you can always wonder, Bud, that say on 4th down and the goalpost had been up, it'd have been a long one of 60 yards, but, well, I don't know. All the excitement. What a way to spend a Saturday afternoon, NCAA college football. And we still have another bruiser coming up a week from today, Notre Dame being hosted by undefeated Southern California Trojans.
And the number 1 ranked team in the nation.
Sir. All right, Ohio State, 1st and 10, right about their 40, and Greg Hare falls down, 2-1, Ohio State! They keep it in the good spirits that you see right now. Thousands of students out on the field swarming over their heroes who with a 6-1 record have won it all. They do have to share the Big Ten title, but it's a trip to the Rose Bowl January 1st.
And even though they're sharing it, they beat the team they're sharing it with.
Right.